Aloba Mohbad, suit number COR/IKD/10/2023. Before Coroner Magistrate TA Shuto be Miss. Signed, certified, true copy. Today, Friday, the 29th day of September 2023, before Coroner Magistrate TA Shuto be Miss, inquest into the death of late Oluwa Oladimeji Aloba, aka Mohbad, suit number COR/IKD 10/2023. The court. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Magistrate Shotobi Adedayo. I'm the Coroner Magistrate for Ikorodu Division. I believe we are here in regards to the inquest into the circumstances surrounding the nature and the cause of death of late Oluwa Oladimeji Aloba, aka Mohbad. However, before we start, I would like us to know that we, the coroners, are only fact finders. We are not the ones to prosecute as the case may be. We just help in putting the facts together and transmit our verdict to the appropriate court for further investigation and prosecution if the respondents are found guilty. The main work we do here is just to put the pieces together and make it whole, then proceed to a higher court. Having introduced myself, we have received 3 petitions from counsels, one from Festus Ogun, Falana, and I have one I just got yesterday from Chief Yomi Aliyu. Can we start with the introduction now? Your Honor, my name is Fumi Falano. My learned friend here is Mr. Olawale. We are interested party. May it please Your Honor, my name is Festus Ogun, and with me is my learned friend, Abimbola Adesoji, interested party. With respect to the court, Kolawole Salami, my learned friends, David Nowola Akipelo Ogunbono, Uzoma Okoli Adura Gbemi, Farmer Kinwa and AG Jagon from the Chief Yomi Aliyu San and Co. We are interested parties for the entertainment industry. My name is Modupe Salako from the Office of the Public Defendant. With me is Mrs. Olabisi K. Oyedotun, interested party. With very profound respect to Your Honor, AA Judge, Director from the DPP. With me is OO Osibanjo, Chief State Counsel, and OE Akinde, Assistant Chief State Counsel. We are here for the state. Respectfully, Your Honor, Oloruniwo Afuye, my Lord, I, Odunoga, Ministry of Justice, OPD Legal Intern. Your Honor, I, Adedokun, Legal Intern. Your Honor, Wajiro Rosemary, the court. We do not have the representative from Panti here. From the homicide section, we do not have the pathologist here, and we do not have any representative from the family here. Or do we have any? Mrs. Fumi Falano. Your Honor, they are still mourning. I spoke with the wife this morning. The court. This preliminary meeting is scheduled for us to streamline the witnesses we will call. How can we get the list of witnesses? Who are your witnesses? I must inform everyone that the pathology report is not ready yet. Mrs. Fumi Falano. Your Honor, we will be bringing the wife, the father, and 2 other people that were present at the time of the incident. The court. Let us know if there is a need for us to issue summons to them, to witnesses that are relevant, and that is why this meeting is important. Mr. Festus Ogun, Your Honor, on our part, we'll be working alongside with Falano and Falano in furtherance of the case. Mr. Kolawole Salami, we will be assisting the coroner with relevant persons from the entertainment community to shed more light, and we will be liaising with the registry to obtain the necessary summons. The court. For me, to issue witness summons, you have to furnish the court with their details, meaning the detailed addresses and contacts available so we can be able to reach them. May I state that whatever is being issued in terms of summons here is not for the general public. You have written a petition to the coroner and we are attending to it. I saw Festus Ogun post everything on the social media, even to the part of my signature, and it is all over. Please let us not throw caution to the air. Counsels, as the court pleases, Mr. Festus Ogun, Your Honor, on our part, we are sincerely sorry. Mrs. Fumi Falano, Your Honor, the nature of the case is such that the press is quite interested in. But by the ethics of our profession, we will try as much as possible to be cautious. The court. I don't know why the people from the homicide are not here. Though they just wrote something about the exhumation of the body, They have exhumed the body and have taken it. There is an autopsy going on and we are waiting for the pathology reports to come out. Mr. A.A. George, Your Honor, we vow to work with the court, the police and any state agency for the success of this case. The court, I would appreciate it. Let me also state that I know we have press all over, but we know that by our ethics, recording devices used by the press are not supposed to be allowed into the courtroom. They should be outside. Let me also state that this sitting is an irregular court sitting and we are not bound by the procedure of the Evidence Act. Also, when your witnesses are available, we should also have the deposition of the witnesses and within time. We will exchange and give the court who will be given its copy to help bring speedy justice to late Aloba Aloba. Mr. A.A. George, this is a reasonable compass that we have now. We will have it ready. The court, are we on the same path? Counsels, very well, Your Honor. The court, thank you very much for being here. Let us all agree on a further date right now. Mrs. Fumi Falana, Your Honor, we will continue while we wait for the pathology report. The court, I should also state that we are here for and only concerning the circumstances surrounding the nature and cause of death of the deceased only. The court cannot entertain any other thing outside that. The inquest is adjourned to Friday, the 13th of October, 2023. Signed. So signed. Another day. Today, Friday, the 13th day of October 2023, before the Coroner Magistrate T.A. Shutobi Miss, inquest into the death of late Ilere Lua Oladimeji Aloba, aka Mohbad. Suit number COR/IKD/10/2023. The court. Appearances. Do I have the petitioners, respondents, and the state? Are they present here? May it please the coroner, my name is Fumi Falana. My learned friends, Olumeyewa Ogunsomi and Olawanle Ernest, appear with me. We appear for the family. With profound respect, Your Honor, A.A. George, with O.O. Osibanjo and O.E. Akinde, we appear for the state. Abiodun Kolawole for African Women Lawyers Association, interested party. With the greatest respect and humility to the Lord, Kolawole Salami, my learned friends are David Nowola, Joshua Yomi Aliyu, Uzoma Okuli, A.G. Jagon, and last but not the least, Aduragbe Mefama Kinwa. My Lord, we appear for the entertainment community. We are most grateful to the court. O.S. Nyon Anyalewechi, appearing with me is C.J. Ezengwa. We are here on observation on behalf of NBA Ikorodu branch. ASP Aderinde Gafar Ajibola and ASP Mohammed Yusuf, investigators. The court. Do you have anyone from the pathology department? Mr. A.A. George, Your Honor, we're in touch with the pathology department as at yesterday. They informed us that they are still expecting the results of the toxicology test that was requested for. So with that, they have not been able to conclude the autopsy. The court, I'll come back to that. Mr. A.A. George, none of them is in court. The court. Before we continue, I would like to introduce myself once again. I'm Shotobi Adidayo, the Coroner Magistrate from Ikorodu Division. I'm acting on the directive of the Chief Coroner of Lagos State, Honorable Justice M.A. Dada. I would like to remind everyone that what we do here is basically fact-finding. We want to put the pieces together, then transmit to the High Court to pronounce on the verdict and give appropriate sentence if found guilty. I would also like to state that we should all be relaxed. Feel free. It is an irregular court sitting and we are not bound by the Evidence Act. Anybody from the public can ask questions and may be able their question may help us in investigation for us to get a quick resolution or dispensation of justice. We are here to get justice for the late Ilere Oladimeji Aloba, aka Mohbad, for speedy and fast dispensation of this case. We all have to work together. I expect that we should have the respondents present in court by now. I have not received any appearance for the respondents. Any respondents? Mrs. Fumi Falana, Your Honor, I want to make one or two observations. We noticed that the press has been chased out, and last time they are asking series of questions. I would suggest, because Section 36 provides that they can be in court except where the coroner feels it should be held in private. I will suggest, subject to what the coroner will feel, that we allow the press to enter but without cameras. so that they don't go out to give a contrary or send bad signal because the public is interested in this matter. The court. The press was not chased out. I have directed on the last date that cameras and recording devices are not allowed. They are allowed to take notes, and that if anyone is caught with any recording device, they will be cited for contempt. They are all allowed here. It's important. We said no cameras in court. If they decide to stay back because the cameras are important to them, that's on them. I'm sure we have some press already in court. They have taken their attendance, so none of them were chased out. You should have made the observations very well. Mrs. Fumi Falano, I was here and made the observation and they complained to me last week and said I said I will raise it. I'm glad they are here today, the court. Yes, thank you. Mrs. Abiodun Kolawole, I'm glad with what Your Honor ordered now. When I read the paper, what they carried is that journalists were not allowed to come in the court. As an individual, nobody can stop you from coming into the courtroom. The courthouse and courtroom is a public place. Cameras or any recording device is not allowed in the courtroom. All know the rules and we should be able to guide them. Thank you. Mrs. Abiodun Kolawole, we are most appreciative. The court. Any respondents in court? None. Before any inquest is conducted, the petitioners are all here to do a kind of damage control to correct the information they sent earlier. The court, they know what to do. For the first preliminary meeting, I don't think such large crowd is allowed. Mrs. Fumi Falano, Your Honor, the last time we told the court that by now we would have filed the written deposition of witnesses, but we want to get all this together and file them at the same time.
Please, can we power tap? Mr. Dawa, that thing is breaking. I think they are flagging us. Please, let's power tap, please.
What's a flag, Mr. Dawa? What's a flag?
It appears they are flagging. Can we at least power tap, please?
What's
You can give a rose, give a rose. Can we please power tap?
Mr. Dawa?
They are flagging seriously because we can't just hear Dawa. That's it, power tap and give those. Can we put Dawa back on the big screen? Thank you. Dawa, they are flagging, oh.
Don't worry, please. Don't worry. Don't add anything. Don't comment, please. Don't comment anything. The court is just going to say, okay, Mrs. Abiodun Kalawole, my lord, can I raise this observation from the norms of the Coroner Court? If the police want to enter the witness box, nobody has been served for any written deposition made. The court is just going to say one or two things. The Coroner Court is an irregular court. We are not bound by the Evidence Act at all. It is good for us to hear. If we want to move from here, so we can know how to summon the respondents. If the pathologists were here, they just need to tell us what is going on. Mr. A. George, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I believe Your Honor has directed him just to see. If he is to give evidence, it will be our duty to lead.
Dawa, can you
The button?
hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, Dawa, sorry, I was just interrupting you. I just wanted to say something. Please, you
Please,
guys,
can
I
you hear
hope
me?
you know that.
Can anybody
Yes.
hear me? Just tell me yes.
Yes, we can hear you, Dawa. If the rest of you can hear me, I hope you know the only reason we cannot
What
hear
did you
Dawa is
say?
because we are getting flagged. We are getting flagged. We have 233 people here, and you people are not power tapping. You are not liking this live. If we have 233, there's nothing stopping this live from getting to 500 because they will throw us out, and then we have to start. It's unfair. Bella Baoshowa. Someone is here reading for us like this, and we're not even power tapping the screen. Toba Dawa, no, we have to start from the beginning. So please, while we're listening to Dawa, we only have one duty to power tap and get get a lot of likes on this live so that we can hear him clearly. No vex, Dawa, beg.
Thank you. The court. The important thing is for us to know the facts so we can be able to move on from here. We are fact finders. Anybody from the public can stand and ask questions. It is important for us to hear from them on the steps they have taken. Mrs. Fumi Falano. He doesn't have to be in the box to tell the court what he has done. The court, okay, you can step out. ASP Oderinde. My name is Oderinde Gafara Jibola. I'm an assistant superintendent of police attached to homicide section of the Lagos State Police Command. On the 13th of September 2023, the court, you are speaking as if you are giving evidence. Just tell us your findings, what you have done so far. ASP Oderinde. We took over this investigation on the 18th of November, and following the takeover, the court, the second IPS says he wants to be the one to talk, so let him. ASP Mohammed. My name is ASP Mohammed Yusuf. I'm attached to the homicide section state CID Panti. Sometime in September 2023, we were all living witness and the media in the death of Iliri Oluwa-Oladimeji Aloba aka Mohbad. Based on that, the father was invited to the station over allegations that he was reliably informed that his son was beaten up by some suspects led by Ibrahim aka Prime Boy. And in the process, he sustained injury, and thereafter, a nurse was invited and she administered injection. Having administered injection on the son, he also alleged that before the incident, one Abdul Aziz Fashola aka Naira Marley and Samson, that is Sam Larry, subjected his son to a kind of psychological and emotional stress. Based on that, he's suspecting them to have orchestrated the beating and caused his son's death. Based on the allegation, this CP directed the DC State CID to constitute a team with the view to unravel the mystery behind the death of Iliri Oluwa. In the course of leading the team led by DCP Sahid, it was discovered that on the 10th of September, that was on Sunday 2023, the deceased had a show at Town Hall Ikorodu to promote general bitters organized by one Soso Suberekun. The artists that were invited included Zlatan Sheokuti and the deceased. The deceased arrived at the show around 9:30 p.m. and he rented a jeep. With him in the jeep were his wife, one Adeyemo Darusha, his PA, and his 5-month-old son. On arriving there, he performed first before Zlatan and Sheon Kuti. And on completion of the show, he was trying to leave the premises. While in the car with the driver of the jeep, his wife, 5-month-old son, and Ibrahim Prime Boy. According to Ibrahim, as they were trying to leave the premises, the venue was blocked by other vehicles and he tried to come down from the vehicle, but Ibrahim advised him not to come down, but insisted, and in the process, argument ensued between him and Ibrahim, and this was witnessed by the driver of the jeep. He said Mohbad punched Ibrahim more than 3 times, and he did not retaliate, and the guy dodged and he punched the side glass of the jeep and he sustained injury. Then he asked Ibrahim to leave and Ibrahim left. Then he returned home back to where they live at Lekki. The next day in the morning, that's on Monday, the driver of the jeep slept there and the wife brought money that he should replace the glass of the jeep. On that Monday, he called his nurse, one Fumi, and she was not available to attend to him. He left his hand untreated until on Tuesday around 2 o'clock when Abayomi Sodiq, his friend, said he will call his own nurse to assist, and that was how Fisayo Ogedengbe was invited. On arrival, she came with tetanus, paracetamol injection, and some septazole. She administered the tetanus on the left hand and the paracetamol and septazole pain relief and on the right, and immediately she administered it, he vomited, and immediately he vomited. Goosebumps appeared all over his body, and she ran to the nearest chemist to get another injection to neutralize the injection she gave. While she was there, they called her that Mohbad had started convulsing, and that was when they called the younger brother to the deceased. Mohbad, who ran to their neighbor to assist with vehicle because Mohbad's vehicle was faulty and they put Mohbad there. On their way going, they were stuck in the traffic, so the PA and one of the photographers alighted and put him on a motorcycle. And on getting to the hospital, it was confirmed that he was brought in dead. Based on that, we visited the hospital where he was confirmed dead, and we also visited Perez Hospital where he was brought in dead. We visited the house and ascertained the CCTV footage, but it was faulty. We also recovered the remnants of the injection and registered it. We also got the necessary coroner forms signed by the magistrates in charge of coroner. Autopsy was performed on that day, and the remains, the necessary parts of the deceased, was taken to Lagos DNA lab for toxicology, which we are still awaiting. Letters were sent to Immigration Office, likewise the director of Coroner Hospital, where the nurse trained, and investigation discovered that she trained at Coroner School Hospital somewhere at Akute at Ogun State as an auxiliary nurse. Experts were also invited from the Nigerian Medical Association, Pharmacist Association of Nigeria, to ascertain the type of drugs used, and they came up with their findings, which were also documented. The suspects involved, like Naira Marley and Sam Larry, who were alleged to have assaulted him at Elegushi, the hotel at Victorialand, and on the 5th of October, he was allegedly assaulted at Naira Marley's studio. And all the witnesses who were directly involved were invited and their statements were given. The investigation also revealed that on the 5th of October, there was an allegation that he was assaulted somewhere at Aja, and we wrote a letter to that area to forward any case file involved in the case, and they were all able to furnish us with information that on 5th of October 2022, a case of assault was reported by Mohbad and 3 others, but later Mohbad and his lawyer decided that they were no longer interested in the case. Investigations were provided, and on the 28th of September, Sam Larry was arrested at Marital Mohammed Airport. On the 3rd, Naira Marley was invited and brought to the station. Their statements were recorded in the presence of their lawyers, and all allegations leveled against them, like bullying, they denied the allegation. Those who were there when Mohbad and others were assaulted corroborated in their statement that Naira Marley was only present at the scene, but refused to stop Tunde, his former manager, because Mohbad went there to say he was no longer interested in following him as a manager. So when he was being attacked there, Naira Marley was watching. There was no response from him, and that was what corroborated in the statements of the 3 witnesses who were there. Only one alleged that Naira Marley assaulted Mohbad and himself on that fateful day. We have sent letter to Immigration Office to furnish us with travel history to ascertain because, according to Naira Marley, he left Nigeria on the 31st of August and returned on 3rd October 2023. While Sam Larry left on the 4th of September and returned on the 28th of September, there is no link between them in the death of Mohbad in the course of our investigation. We also found that there was no link between the nurse who administered the injection and Naira Marley and Sam Larry. The same thing with Sam Larry, because both of them were not in Nigeria when the incident happened. In the course of investigation, we discovered that there were evidences against Sam Larry because the incident that happened at Elegushi, some of the staff witnessed the incident when he was being bullied, but there was no empirical evidence to prove beyond reasonable doubt that Naira Marley assaulted him, except one of those in his house who corroborated that Naira Marley assaulted Mohbad and two others who were at the scene of the incident. The nurse in question on interrogation confessed that she administered the injection and immediately the guy vomited before he later went to the hospital. The invitation letters were sent to the witnesses who were directly involved in the case, and we have written an interim preliminary report and submitted. We have a copy, and that is the copy that is with him. The court. Does anyone have a question or two? We are doing this so we can get the respondents to reach out to. We have only witnesses. How can we reach out to the respondents and send the appropriate summons to them? Do you have any question? Mr. Kolawole Salami. Your Honor, I have a question. I want to find out from what you have told us now. Can you say the investigation has been concluded on the part of the police, or is it still ongoing? ASP Mohammed, I told you that the necessary facts have been taken and the autopsy and toxicology reports are still being awaited. Mr. Kolawole Salami, so it is safe to say that the investigation is still ongoing? ASP Mohammed, since we have not gotten the autopsy and toxicology results, both are still needed. Mr. Kolawole Salami, so it is still ongoing. Thank you. Mrs. Abiodun Kolawole, you said part of what you investigated on, Sam Larry and Naira Marley were not in Nigeria. You wrote a letter regards intimidation and harassment and bullying. You said there was ASP Mohammed. We have social media videos in circulation, but those who were at Elegushi, we have them as a witness. Mrs. Abiodun Kolawole, there are some faces of people who say, I know this on social media. And I personally did not want to conclude when I heard about this. If the police will calm down, you will see beyond the noise. Some people said that they were there when he was bullied at so party. Have you taken time to stretch your letters of invitation to them? ASP Mohammed, that is what I said. We have sent letters to witnesses and those who were at the scene, not hearsay. Mr. Nowola, Your Honor, my question is this. From accounts of the story, you have isolated a particular case or situation where you said you gathered eyewitness. We understand there are several eyewitnesses, and I want to know, is the police isolating one instance? You said for the one at Elegushi, you have gotten eyewitnesses. I understand that even when the deceased had made confessions to say that this and this was happening to him. ASP Mohammed, at Elegushi, if you watch the video, you will discover that he was seated with Zlatan when Naira Marley came behind. Another one is at the hotel at Victoria Island, and witnesses were there. Then on the 5th of October, when he went to Naira Marley's house to tell him that he no longer wants Sunday as manager, the video you saw, that was when he went there. The case was reported at Ilasa police station, but they said they were no longer interested. We requested for the transfer of the case file. Mr. Nowola, the situations you have painted are 3 scenarios now. In accounts of your stories, you said that there were 3 eyewitnesses. 2 confirmed certain position. Are the 3 eyewitnesses for whole of the situation you have painted, or just for the 3 you've painted? ASP Mohammed, it is just one. What happened at Naira Marley's studio? Mr. Nowola, if you are giving us one situation and you say there is no reasonable link, ASP Mohammed, listen to what I said. On that very day, 3 people accompanied Mohbad to Naira Marley's house. While Damola went home to inform them they were being attacked, 2 of them corroborated in their statement that Naira Marley did not play any role. He was only watching. But not one of them admitted that Naira Marley punched Mohbad. Mr. David Nowola, that's what I'm saying. You are picking only 3 situations and 3 witnesses. Is it enough for the police to base their investigation on just 3 eyewitnesses from the numerous occasions that happened? ASP Mohammed, the father of the deceased, who is the complainant, alleged he was there in the deceased house on that very day when the things happened. Mrs. Fumi Falano, what we are saying is that there are chains of occurrences, a lot, not just 1 or 2. So you will need to conduct further investigations. You singled out some events, but there are But there are many events. We are advising that you would need to carry out further investigation on all allegations that happened. We heard that there are many times that he had to complain that he was being threatened, and he called the police. And there was an allegation he went to court. ASP Mohammed, that was a Legushi incident. He went to CID to report, and the IPO said that he should bring evidence, and since then, he did not show up. Mrs. Fumi Falana, I am aware you mentioned you have taken the statement of Sam Larry and Naira Marley. Are you saying you have concluded that there is no prima facie case of assault against them? ASP Mohammed, I have said all the evidence we have for now. We have witnesses. Mrs. Falana, on a single occurrence, ASP Mohammed, anywhere Mohbad was, he went with his photographer, his DJ. We have all of them. Mrs. Falana, and there were other occasions where he was assaulted and you've not asked. ASP Mohammed, we have asked. Mrs. Falana, how many occasions have you pinned down so far? ASP Mohammed, we have told you the one that happened at the hotel, Elegushi, and all that. Mrs. Falana, we believe that you have to do a thorough investigation before you come and give evidence. Mr. A.A. George, my lord, I need to speak at this stage. Your Honor, it is important that as officers of the state, we have to guard the essence of this meeting. There are 3 or 4 principal issues that the coroner answers: why the deceased died, when the deceased died, how the deceased died, and where he died. 3 of those issues have been resolved, and the only issue we have is, and with due respect, Your Honor, then, so we don't put sensationalism into the social media. With due investigators, that there is need to further investigation. The court. But he's not, the focus is because of the respondents. We have petitioners, so we should have respondents. Who are we going to reach out to come and answer the petition of how he died? That is the basic reason why I have said the police should be able to tell us about their investigation. The autopsy result is the essence. The autopsy result will determine to so many things, but while we wait, we should be able to streamline what we have at hand. Mrs. Fumi Falana, he's not giving evidence. We are just discussing and saying. The court, this is part of the preliminaries. ASP Mohammed, in addition to what I said, we have written our legal advice, of which I have a copy with me here. The court, I will have a copy of that. Mr. Yomi Aliyu, this is just under observation for the sake of the journalist. I just want to reiterate. I want to employ the journalists to be careful of what they put out there. That is my observation. Counsel, for the purpose of clarification before the court, the bullying took place when? Last year or this year? ASP Mohammed, the incidence of bullying happened on the 25th of June, 2022. The court, he's not yet giving evidence. Mr. A.A. George, the office of the DPP is embarrassed that the police issued a preliminary investigation, and aside from Your Honor, the coroner having a copy, the first order should be the DPP. It is embarrassing that it is in court. There is a preliminary investigation report. The court, I don't even have it here with me. The only thing is that the last day they mentioned that they were not here with their file. Mr. A.A. George, I'm grateful, sir. The court, that is why I said they should tell us what their findings were. Mrs. Abiodun Kolawole, during the course of your investigation revealed that the first place Mohbad reported, he wrote an undertaking that he was no longer interested. ACP Mohammed, by the lawyer. Mrs. Abiodun Kolawole, at which station is that? And I also remember that I saw a petition to Alagbon going viral on social media, and the Alagbon that I know, once somebody petitions, they will mobilize and send invitation to the person. In these circumstances, the police said Mohbad should go and bring an evidence that he was bullied before you could act. ASP Mohammed, no. He said his camera and instruments were damaged. Mrs. Abiodun Kolawole, I just want to suggest that you extend your investigation to that side. The courts, we all have to be careful. You can understand why the court is of the opinion that we should take care of the preliminaries first. ASP Oderinde. With respect to this court, Your Honor, I think what we are here for is coroner inquest. We are not here for bullying or no bullying. What led to his death? It was as a result of the injection given to him that he reacted, of which we are still waiting for the autopsy. We are waiting for the results of the autopsy. The sample gotten from him has been taken. The nurse that administered the injection is the one we are suspecting, no one else. So the issue of bullying does not arise in the coroner inquest. Mr. A.A. George, Your Honor, I consider the only thing we are waiting for is the issue of pathology, but this coroner inquest can still proceed. We are very fortunate that Mrs. Falano, confirmed son, is present. This inquest can proceed with certain witnesses, the wife, the PA, photographer, the father. We can have them while we await the pathologist's report. The court. That is why I have said we should not waste any time. It is essential that we have the respondents. We cannot wait for the witnesses. We need the respondents to also be present in court and answer to the allegations put before them. We have to streamline who we want to reach out to. We cannot do it at their back. Counsel. One of my learned friends asked the question, is the investigation concluded? The result of the autopsy has not come out. There's still a need to investigate more. The court. As much as this court is a fact-finding court, we are here to investigate the death of Mohbad, how he died, where he died, when and what caused his death. When we have the 4 items listed on ground, then we can move on. Everybody is aware of what is going on, and that is the essence of this preliminary meeting. We have to streamline all the facts and witnesses that we have. Mr. A.A. George. The respondents for us are Naira Marley, Sam Larry, and Prime Boy. And these people have been remanded pursuant to the order of court. The court. Let us have their details. Then we will summon them to court. Mr. Kolawole Salami. We have started making efforts to get some of these witnesses, and that is why we have submitted an application to court for witness summons. And one of the witnesses we want to call is Omoni Timidayo Raphael Zlatan Imbile. And we believe he will shed more light as to the chain of events that took place on Sunday. We have forwarded his name, details, and his address. The court. Our confirmed son. Do you have anything to say? The court congratulates you, Mrs. Fumi Falano. We are asking that within the next 2 weeks, we'll be able to bring them. We have the evidence of the wife already, which we intend to file, but we want to bring everything together. The court. So the next 2 weeks, 27th, is it convenient to the whole house? Mr. Kolawole Salami, some of the other witnesses we intend to call will be needing some information from the ESP as to the address and all that. The court. If we all agree, we'll start our inquest on the next date. Mrs. Abiodun Kolawole, for those who have been remanded, maybe the court can send a production warrant. Mr. A.A. George, we are free on the 24th and 25th. The court. Any question from the public? Public. My name is Adeshola from the BBC. I want to throw this question out. Was there any point in time the police investigated if there were self-medications even before the nurse came? ASP Mohammed, there was no self-medication. Mohbad did not know the nurse before. It was his friend that brought her. It was after the administration of the injection he reacted. There was no self-medication. Public. So far, what are the evidences that ASP Mohammed, it is in our custody? Public. There must be a correcting mechanism. Are there no structures to address the issues of artists being molested and harassed? Mr. Noala, we are bringing artists to correct this, and all of these will be in place. The court. Matter adjourned to 25th of October 2023 for further inquest. I'll be pausing here for now. I'll be back in 10-15 minutes. I want the panelists to talk about this because the next inquest talks about Baba Mohbad appearing on stage. Okay, so over to you, my panelists. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dawa. Who is ready to go, Sister Befe? Do you have anything to say from what we've heard so far?
I don't have anything to. I think I'm quite keen on Baba Mohbad's side of the inquest, but yeah, at the moment I'll just save my energy for that. Thank it's done.
Sorry guys. From what I read out, I'm a bit worried with the police. You remember that Sam Larry said he made a statement about all stations settled. From what the police officer was giving, he hasn't done enough investigation. He's trying to throw out all the bullying and harassment. Did anybody notice that it's just me?
Yes.
Did anybody notice that it's just me that noticed from what I just read?
I did visit her, and that would have also been my area of my completion as well.
Yeah, so that's what I sensed from there, because Fumi Falano kept pushing the police officer. There are several incidents that happened, and she gave the several examples, and the police was not able to give enough. So I'm hoping that statement from Sam Larry will be with what that statement he made, that video he made, all stations settled. They need to explain why he made that statement.
And again, you see, there was something that San Fumi Falano was trying to do there, or I can't recall if she was the one. But what that lawyer was trying to establish is, how can you have only 3 witnesses to all of the events?
Exactly.
And they kept asking again, are you saying those 3 witnesses are just for one of the events or all of the events? You know, just trying to establish how much effort they've put into that aspect of bullying. And you know, the fact that they were in a hurry to just throw out that why we're here is how he died, and not
died about the injection, not about the bullying and harassment. How dare this?
You get of which, you know, there's a possibility, there's a link. Anything could have been, even medically, if we want to look at history of the deceased. How did he arrive at that point and all of that? There was a time he was suicidal that we heard.
Freedom, let me cut you short in there. You know, when the officer was speaking, he said there was no correlation between Sam Larry and Naira Marley to the incident. That's what he said, though. I will need that police officer's name.
Yes.
That's what he said.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the evidence of the bullying and the
throw the bullying aspect away.
Please, sorry, ma'am. Can we let one person finish before we interject so that we can hear each other? People are streaming, so we can pass out.
What I was trying to say, that the police officer was saying there was no correlation between Sam Larry and Naira Marley in the incident that happened. Now, what we are here for is about the nurse giving injection and the things that happened in the house. This is a stream of it that has been happening for the past probably 2 years, thereabouts, of the bullying and harassment. So I don't know why would a police officer would make such statements.
I think that was too hasty, whatever it is. And I like the fact that whoever that lawyer was,
Falano, the Falano Chambers.
She kept hammering on the fact that, just to further prove to us that, you need to do more by way of investigation. She even went as far as asking, are you saying that you are still investigating, or this preliminary is the final part of it? And the police officer, to me, seemed evasive in some ways, like he was trying to evade some questions. He was not forthwith with answering certain questions too. I noticed that. And it was more like trying to close the aspect of
the bullying and harassment.
Yes, like trying to close that aspect.
Unfortunately, they are coming for a shocker, because all those evidences is with the Falanos, and he will be presenting them in court.
Yeah.
So they should get themselves very ready. Yeah? All stations closed and settled according to Sam Larry. Closed, right?
All closed station will be reopened.
This will be all reopened.
You see, Freedom, even the evasion has given us an answer. Because if they're asking a question, throwing a question at you, and you are trying to avoid it, it gives an answer already. That means you've not really done your due diligence. You've not investigated anything.
Yes, and I loved how the lawyer brought it to the open, like...
No, she drilled that police officer. She drilled that police officer. he thought he could twist it, but he couldn't.
I could almost sense impatience in the response of the police officer. I told you that before. I said that before. You know
that before. You know, shit. All station closed and settled.
He was really frustrated. Like, don't do this to me, woman.
Oh my God, it is well. I can't wait for the main hearing to start.
You know, not just even the police now, everyone, like all of these people who are trying to change narratives. And I can't wait for the loads and tons of evidence that will be churned out. You know?
And honestly, I can bet that by the time they start the court hearing, the evidences will be overwhelming. You know, the ones we see on social media is very minor to what we has at hand. I will go my bagen. What's in Mokoko?
And the aspect of where the driver said Mohbad punched him three times and he did not retaliate. I think I don't want to believe that aspect.
It could be possible. It could be possible that he punched him. Remember that there are crowds there. However, he missed. He was an aggravated. She aggravated.
Go Glance TV.
Yeah. Do you get what I mean?
Hello.
Yeah. So he aggravated.
Mr. Dawa.
Welcome to my program. Can I help you?
What can you unmute yourself? I don't get it.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's continue.
Let's mute, guys. Everybody mute.
Okay. So page 25. Page 25 of page 330. Today, Wednesday, the 25th day of October 2023, before Coroner Magistrate T.A. Shotobi Miss, inquest into the death of late Ilirulu Oladimeji Aloba aka Mohbad, suit number COR/IKD/10/2023. The court appearances. With very profound respect to Your Honor, A.A. Judge with O.E. Akinde, we appear for the state. With a component of humility to Your Honor, Abiodun Kolawole for African Women Lawyers Association Interested Party. With the greatest respect to the Honorary Coroner, I am T.E. Olawale. Your Honor, with me is Festus Ogun. A.A. Akinyeni, Adesoji Adebola. Your Honor, we are for the family of the deceased. With the greatest respect to Your Honor, Kolawole Salami. My learned friends, David Nowola, Akinpelu Ogumbono, Uzoma Okoli, and last but not the least, Aduragbemi Famakinwa. Your Honor, we most respectfully appear for the entertainment industry. With utmost respect to Your Honor, Bemigbo Elijah, with Mia Akodu, Oladapo, Ebino Tuatope, H.A. Akusinu, Nana Elikwachi, Adetayo Olubanke, Afunsho Ismail, and Remilekun Ushikoya. We appear for NBA Ikorodu branch. Respectfully, sir, Jennifer Nina, holding the briefs of David Fadili, we appear for the deceased father, Mr. Aloba Joseph Olabamiwu. The court, gentlemen, no phones are allowed in the courtroom, please. Yes, go on. Mr. A.E. George, Your Honor, we have been served with the deposition of Mr. Aloba Joseph, father of the deceased, and we have also seen the father of the deceased in court, and I believe they are ready to give evidence. I'm also informed that Mrs. Falano promised the last time to bring about 4 witnesses, and they have informed us that they are close by, making their way to the court. Your Honor, I believe if we start with the first witness, we'll be halfway and the other witnesses will meet us. Otherwise, we will humbly ask for a stand down after this one in case we finish before them. We're grateful. Mr. T. Olawale, we confirm the position you're on. There are about 4 witnesses on their way, and because of the traffic, they are not here yet. Case stood down. Case recalled. The court. Good afternoon, everyone. Are we ready to proceed? Counsels, yes. Your Honor, I'm sincerely sorry. My name is Olumiwa Ogunsomi. Mr. Olumiwa Ogunsomi, my lord, I will lead Jennifer and I am sincerely sorry for coming late. She quickly went out to make photocopies in order to serve all the parties. She went outside to make copies. We are sincerely sorry, sir, for this delay. Our witness is in court. If the court can give us about 3 minutes so she can come back and serve all the parties. The court. Gentlemen, we can go on. Kindly take appearance again. With profound respect to my lord, my name is Olumiwa Ogunsomi. I appear for the deceased father. Mr. Olumiwa Ogunsomi, Your Honor, he speaks in Yoruba. We humbly ask for an interpreter. The court. Good afternoon, sir. How are you today? I want you to be relaxed. This is an irregular court session. The court commiserates on the loss of your child. We are here to find out and put the pieces together on what led to the death of your son so he can go back home to rest. Be assured that justice will be served. Do you need anything? Do you want to sit down? Here they wrote the witness. I'll be saying Babaloba or Josie once in a while. Josie, I'm fine. Court registrar, are you a Christian or a Muslim? Josie, Christian. Mr. Aloba Joseph Olabamewu in the witness box, a Christian sworn on oath on the Holy Bible to say the truth and states in Yoruba. Examination by Mr. Olumiwa Ogunsomi. Question. Tell this court your full name. Josie. My name is Joseph Aloba Oluwabamewu. Question. Where do you live, sir? Josie, I live at number 8 Celeb Bus Stop, Okile to Ikorodu. Question, what do you for a living? Josie, I'm a carpenter. Question, do you remember on the 25th day of October 2023, you deposed to a written deposition on oath before this court? Do you remember? Josie, yes. Question, if you see the said written deposition, can you recognize it? Josie, yes. Question, please take a look at this copy. Josie, reviews court documents. Question, is that your written deposition? Josie, yes. Question, look at the signature. Is that your signature? Josie, it is mine. Question, what do you want to do with that document? Josie, I want to be adopted as my evidence before. I want it to be adopted as my evidence before this court. Question, my lord, we seek to tender the said written deposition. The court. I believe all parties have been served. The witness deposition dated the 25th of October 2023 is thereby adopted as evidence in the court. Mr. Olumiwa Ogunsomi, what do you want the court to do for you in a nutshell in this case? Josie, I want justice. Question, my lord, we are grateful. That will be all. Mr. A.A. George, Your Honor, since his counsel brought him as a witness, the court can ask questions at any time. Cross-examination by Mr. A.A. George. Question. Mr. Aloba Joseph, I commiserate with you on the loss of the deceased. May the Lord comfort you and your family. Can you please tell the court how old was the deceased and when was he born? The date of birth. Josie, Mohbad was 26 years. He was born on January 3rd, 1997. Question. From the day the deceased was born, how many years did the deceased live with you and his mother? Josie, he was with me for 18 years. Question. Consistently for 18 years? Josie, yes. Question. Tell the court the schools he attended. Josie, the first was Upper Hand Nursery and Primary School, and due to change of environment, he went to another school at Agboru. That was where he finished his primary school. Then secondary school was private school, and due to change of environment, he came Ikorodu and went to Uncle Shodis and Uncle Shodis for 4 years. He went to Top Val at Odonguyon, and that was where he sat for his exam. And from there, he entered SROK Polytechnic for 2 years. Question: What degree did the deceased get from SROK Polytechnic? Josie, HND. 2 years, that should be OND. Josie, yes, OND. Question: You have mentioned several schools crisscrossing almost the entire Lagos state. Are you saying you are shifting your accommodation from one place to another? Josie, yes. Question: So he was changing school by the reason of your changing accommodation? Josie, yes. Question: Was he at any time in the boarding school? Josie, no, except when he was in Polytechnic. Question: You have told my lord that consistently for 18 years the deceased lived with you. Do you have his medical records? Please, can you tell the court about his medical records? Josie, he did not have any ailments. Question: Did you ever take him to the hospital? Josie, the only time I took him to the hospital was when he had appendix and rashes on his body. I went to the chemist. I did not take him to the hospital. Question: You mentioned appendix. How did he undergo any surgery? Josie, no, he only had rashes. Question: You are linking rashes to appendix? Josie, it was not real appendix, but at the last moment, we went to the chemist and he was cured. Question: Can you remember what age he was at that time? Josie, he was 16 years old. Question: He had finished secondary school at that time? Josie, yes. Question: In paragraph 2 of your deposition, you mentioned that the deceased was arrested with some people. At what time did the deceased start putting up with the people you mentioned, Aziz Fashola, before that 2022? Josie, he has been with Naira Marley since 2019. That is towards December time. Question: That means he moved out of your house? Josie, yes. Where were you living in 2019? Josie, I was staying at Ikorodu here. Question: So where was Naira Marley living at 2019? Josie, I don't know. Question: So you did not know where your son was staying? Josie, at all. Completely a year. I did not see him. Question: You have deposed here on oath that your son told you, as read, in February, my son told me that Mr. Aziz Fashola's house was searched by the NDLA. You did not know the house? Josie, when the incident happened, I had to know there by force. Question: Did you know the house before the incident happened? Josie, yes. Question: You have to let us be clear about what you are saying. The records of the court has to be clear. You have informed the court that in 2019, the deceased moved out of your house in Ikorodu and started living with Naira Marley. You did not know the house. Josie, that is then. In 2019, Josie, yes. Question: You did not know the house when supposedly NDLA raided the house. You did not know the house? Josie, yes. Question: Why did the deceased leave your house in 2019? Josie, with the age, he was able to leave the house. He had gone to school and made new friends. Question: In 2019, which work was he doing? Josie, carpenter. Question: He was doing carpentry under you? Josie, yes, sir. Question: When he chose to leave your custody, did you bother to find out why he was leaving? Josie, suddenly, he traveled out then, and on his way coming, they had arranged how he would see Naira Marley, and since then, I did not see him for a year. Question: You have to be very specific. When was that suddenly, and where did he travel to? Josie, he went to Dubai. Question: Josie, no, he was doing the music by the side. Question: You are saying that while he was serving as a carpenter, he was practicing his music career? Josie, yes. Question: Thank you. The incident of February 2022, did you go to the house after the incident, Josie? Yes. Question, how did you know the address? Josie, through my son. Question, prior to this incident, you never bothered to ask him the address? Josie, I asked him. We talked on phone. Josie, but you never visited him. Josie, no. Question, how old was he in 2019? Josie, 23 or 22? 22 years. Question, in paragraph 3 of your deposition, you said the deceased told you he was given a substance to drink. Josie, yes. Question, while in custody and he was eventually released. Josie, yes. Question, did you visit him while he was in custody? Josie, no, he had left. Question, it was after he came out? Josie, yes. Question, did you take him to any hospital? Josie, he landed in the hospital after that. I wasn't there. Question, you don't know whether he went to hospital? Josie, he went to the hospital. Question, did you know the hospital that he attended? Josie, I do not know. Question, that was around February? Josie, yes. Question, but he came out alive? Josie, yes. Question, you did not visit him in the hospital? Josie, at all. Question, you did not see any of the doctors that attended to him? Josie, no. Question, you did not visit him until October 2022, or was it in February you visited him? Josie, I visited him in that February. That incident made me close with him again. Hold on, please.
Our tap.
Question. Question. In October 2022, you visited your son at Agungi, and that was his house or Naira Marley's. You see, that was not Naira Marley's house. He had his own apartment then. Question. When he told you he was no longer interested in having Mr. Tunde as his manager, what did you tell him? He told you around 8 p.m. Josie, no, he did not tell me direct. He was having conversation with that manager that night, and he said, Daddy, I'm going to visit my master, which is Naira Marley. After some minutes, about 30 minutes to the time, some of them that went ran back home to tell me he was beaten. Question. No, I'm referring to paragraph 4 of your deposition. You want me to read it? Josie, read it, sir. Question. In October 2022, I visited my son, late Iliri Oluwa, in his house at Abiola's Court, Lekki Aja. He told me around 8 p.m. that he wanted to visit Naira Marley in his house and to tell him that he was no longer interested in having Mr. Tunde, Naira Marley's younger brother, as his manager. He told you? Josie, yes, he told me. Question, what did you do when he told you? Josie, firstly, I was against him going there, that it was late, but he said it was at night they could see. Question, but he eventually went. Josie, yes. Question, when you got to the scene, where you alleged that there was an assault, you alleged that there were injuries on the deceased body, what did you do? Josie, when I was about to reach there, they had finished fighting and I saw the injuries. Question, what did you do? Josie, he said, Daddy, I can handle the case by myself. And he said he wanted to go and report to the police station, which he did. And I said, let me take over. But he said, no, Daddy, don't do so because of the name. And he said, if I do something like that, it would look as if he was not capable of speaking outside. Question, you did not follow him to the police station? Josie, no. Question, did you take him to any hospital? Josie, no. He was taken to the hospital by one of his friends, Bella. The court. You informed the court your son said he would go ahead to report to the police station. Did you do a follow-up to make sure that he actually reported at the police station? Josie, yes, he did. And after that, he said they had seen a lawyer and that they should write to Naira Marley that he wanted to leave the Malian music that October. The court. In regards to the injury that he sustained or what he wanted to leave, Josie, because of that wound, he was tired, and they had been doing it the second time. The court, where did he report and what was the feedback? Josie, I did not know the exact police station, but according to him, he said he had reported and he had done the necessary things. Mr. E.A. George, you don't know the particular police station and you don't know exactly what the police did. Josie, yes. Question, in August, paragraph 9, August of which year were you referring to? Josie, August this year. Question, you were not at that scene when they were doing it. Josie, I was not there. Question, at what point did your son tell you that it was customary for somebody to attack him? At what point did he tell you that? Josie, he had been saying it for a while, but when that of February happened, he called me that this is what he saw and I was not there. I told him, if you don't have somebody outside, you should have somebody inside. Come home and let us know what that you are in Ikorodu. On his way coming to Ikorodu, he bought rice and beans and was sharing it to everyone. And by the time he got to my place, he came with crowd and we could not discuss anything. Question, your son also told you that he wrote a petition. Do you know which police station? Josie, I don't know. Question, did you see the petition? Josie, no. Question, do you have the day that the deceased died? Do you know the day that the deceased died? Josie, yes. 12th of September. Question, how did you know? Josie, I got to know around 9:30 p.m. Question, on that 12th September, Josie, yes. They were calling me that he was okay and I should go back home. And I noticed that the tone of the conversation, so I wanted to know what was happening. And by 9:30, I met his body on the floor and they had blocked the nose and ears. Question, the very first call you got with respect to the deceased, what information were you given? Josie, the call was from his mom. And he said Mohbad was in the hospital and they said we should come. But the way she sounded, I sensed something was wrong and she called me around 4:30 to 5 in the evening. Question, the mother does not live with you? Josie, no. Question, was the mother living with the deceased? Josie, no. Question, did you go to the hospital? Josie shakes head side to side. Question, tell us what happened. Josie, on the very day when I saw that his body was on the ground, I asked what happened to him. Was he sick? Question, you got there and you saw the body already dead? Josie, yes. They said they gave him injection and injection reacted on his body, and that was the comment given to me by his wife. Question, you saw the dead body? Josie, yes, at the sitting room in his house. Question, the house at Agungi. Josie, they had changed from Agungi again to another apartment. Question, what is the address? Go on. When you remember, tell us. You met the body at the house? Josie, yes. And you told us the nose was already blocked. Josie, yes. Question, who blocked the nose? With what? Josie, with cotton wool. Question, who did that? Josie, I don't know. Question, who certified him dead? Josie, I don't know who said it, but they were deceiving me on the phone that he was all right and I should go back home. Firstly, they said I should come to the hospital at Osapa, London. And when I got to the post stop, I said I was at Osapa, London now. But they told me that I should go back home, that he was all right. But what I had heard before didn't make me believe. And I wanted to see him. When I got there at 9:30 p.m., I met his dead body on the floor. Question, have you seen the death certificate? Josie, question, have you seen the death certificate? Josie, no. Question, so you do not know the cause of death? Josie, not head up and down. Question, this was 12th September 2023. Josie, nods head up and down. Question, who were the people you met in the house? Josie, The people I met there were up to 100. Let me mention a few. I met Anyan, a musician. I met Davido's representative, Zlatan, and many. The crowd was full up there and Mohbad's lawyer. Everyone was there. They had heard, but I did not hear anything. Question, you don't know who prepared the body. Question, you don't know who prepared the body. Josie, I do not know, but I know his wife will be able to explain because she was there. The court, and you did not make inquiry, Josie, at all. They did not call me. The court, you did not do your findings, Josie. I did not do any finding. Again, the court, you did not do, let me take it again. The court, and you, no, let me take it from here. The court, question, you don't know who prepared the body, Josie. I do not know, but I know his wife will be able to explain because she was there. The court, and you did not make any inquiry, Josie, at all. They did not call me. The court, you did not do your findings, Josie. I did not do any finding. The court, you saw your son lying there and you did not ask any question, Josie. The question I asked was what happened? What led to his death? And they said it was the reaction of the injection given to him. Mr. A.A. George, where was the deceased buried? Josie, he was buried at Berigbe. Question, who buried him? Josie, I was the one who pointed that they should bury him there. Question, Berigbe is in Ikorodu here. Josie, yes. Question, the house where you said the corpse was in Lekki. Josie, yes. Question, so who moved the body to Berigbe? Question, so who moved the body to Berigbe? Josie, on that night, Davido's representative sent money to me. Again,
Ooh, they say
Davido's
woo.
representative sent money to me. And I gave it to one of his followers, one of them that follows Mohbad. He received the money and I instructed him to call ambulance. After calling the ambulance, luckily, the ambulance man was a doctor also. And he checked and we decided to go to the police station. And we spent like 3 hours at the police station. Question, which police station? Josie, I don't know.
Oh.
It was in the night. I just told them to carry me to the police station so we could have a police report. And they wasted my time. And they wrote notes and I had already signed. For them to give me the report, they said no. They cannot give me the report. And I asked why. And they said when the events that happened led to his death, where did they report to? That was the question they asked me. And I was not able to reply because I wasn't there when it happened. Question, who hired the ambulance? Josie, Darusha, one of his PA. Question, which death certificate did you present to the ambulance? Josie, he did not have any death certificate. Question, who confirmed to you that the body you were seeing on the ground was lifeless, dead? Josie, I met a lot of people there, and the ambulance driver, who was a doctor, tested him in my presence and said he was dead. I was not the one who called the ambulance. Question, who was the doctor that told you he was dead? Josie, I cannot say much on that. Question, but a doctor told you. Josie, someone was in that bus. Question, was it a doctor? Josie, I do not know. Question, you do not know whether he was a doctor or not. Josie, yes, after that, we took him to the mortuary at Ikorodu here, General Hospital, and they refused to accept him. Question, when you got to the mortuary, did you present a death certificate? Josie, that was why they did not accept the body, and they asked for a police report and a doctor's report. Question, you did not have any. Josie, yes. Question, what else did you do? Josie, from there, we had to exchange because the ambulance was stopped there and the arrangement made with the ambulance was Ikorodu General Hospital, and he said he was going. So we had to call another ambulance to change position, and I told the person that collected money that I am going for preparation on the land. So we had to call another ambulance to change position. And I told the person that collected money that I am going for preparation on the land that I know. And I left there around 4 a.m. Question, that is now 13th of September. Josie, yes. Question, I left them there and went home. And I told them that at sunrise, around 12 to 1, they can bring his body. And as a Yoruba man, I cannot see it. And I only pointed where they should put him. Again, I left them there and went home. And I told them that at sunrise, around 12 to 1, they can bring his body. And as a Yoruba man, I cannot see it. And I only pointed where they should put him. Question, you saw the body at Lekki all the way to the hospital. You saw it. Can you describe to the court what were the physical features? Apart from the cotton wool in the nose and ears, was he wearing clothes? Josie, yes. Question, what kind of clothes? Josie, he wore a trouser and shirt. Question, he was still in his clothes and yet they had blocked his nose and mouth with cotton wool. The body was not prepared for embalmment, for keeping in the mortuary. Again, question, he was still in his clothes and yet they had blocked his nose and mouth with cotton wool. The body was not prepared for embalmment, for keeping in the mortuary. Josie, no. Question, he was still in his normal clothes. Josie, yes. Question, did you feel the body, whether there was life in him? What was your reaction generally? Josie, I was shocked. And I asked his wife what happened. And she said the injection given to him reacted in his body. Question, did you ask who gave him the injection? Josie, they said it was one nurse. Question, did you ask? Josie, I asked. And they said it was one nurse that normally treats him. Question, but you did not see the nurse? Josie, no. Question, what other things did you see in the house where he was lying down? Josie, firstly, I went upstairs first and I saw where he used to play. And I saw a cloth soaked in blood. He had a room and a lobby area where he usually plays. And I saw a cloth soaked in blood. And people told me he was downstairs. So I just came downstairs. Question, you saw some clothes soaked with blood. Was there any blood stain soaked on his body? Josie, no. Again. Question, you saw some clothes soaked with blood. Was there any blood stain soaked on his body? Josie, no. Question. It was new clothes he was wearing? Josie, yes. Question. Shoes? Josie, no shoes. Question. What happened to the clothes that was drenched in blood? Josie, I don't know what happened to it. I just saw that it was used to clean blood. Again, I don't know what happened to it. I just saw that it was used to clean blood. Question. I can see you are a Christian. Josie, yes. The court. What did you do with the clothes? Where is that cloth now? Josie, since then, I have not been to the house, and I just saw that the cloth was used to clean blood. And since then, I did not go to that house. The court. You did not go back to see. Josie, I did not go there. Mr. A.A. George, you participated in the burial process. Josie, no. Because as a Yoruba man, I must not see his corpse. Mr. A.A. George, why did you choose to bury him instantly? Josie, at his age, it is not what you live as a Yoruba. If he was an adult and because he was rejected at the mortuary, I was confused. My intention was to keep him in the mortuary, but they rejected him. Question. Your wife, the mother of the deceased, was with you all the way from Lekki? Josie, yes, she was the one that called me. Question. Was she in the house when you saw the body? Question. Was she in the house when you saw the body? Josie, yes. Question. She followed you in the ambulance to Ikorodu? Josie, I can't say because I did not see her when we brought him to Ikorodu at the mortuary. Question. You were inside the ambulance? Josie, no, a separate car. Question. You went there alone? Josie, no, we were many. Question. When you say you got the phone call and proceeded to Lekki, you went alone? Josie, no, we were 3 in number. Mohbad's mother, I, and one of Mohbad's wife's sister. Question. You have told us earlier that your wife does not live with you. At what point did you leave to go? Josie, yes, we are living in the same area, not the same house. Trust. Question. So what is that Mohbad's wife's sister's name? Josie, I do not know her name, but I know her very well. Question. The 3 of you, after Agungi or Lekki, your journey parted? Josie, the wife's sister. I still met her at the hospital and the wife also. Question. Mr. Aloba, you decided to bury the deceased because you had no cause to query the circumstances of his death? Josie, the questions I asked were, what happened to him? Because 3 days before he died, I saw him and he played with me. Was he sick and he did not call me? And I was told they gave him injection and he had a wound on his hand. And they gave him an injection that reacted on his body. And before they took him to the hospital, he had died. Question. The essence of this inquest is very clear, and that is the question I'm asking. You had no reason to query the cause of death or circumstances of death because you buried immediately. Josie, repeat the question, sir. Question. Did you have any reason to query the cause of death or circumstances of death? Because it is clear that you decided to bury instantly. Josie, I told you the reason that because of his age, he was young and there was nowhere to put him. Question. Did the mother agree that you should bury him? Josie, his mother and I did not have any discussion. Question. His wife agreed that you should bury? Josie, his wife followed me to the mortuary, but we did not have any discussion. I was not there anymore after that 4 o'clock. I went to where I was living to prepare, and I was waiting for them, and they brought his body, and surely they were aware, and his mother was there. Question. In preparation, was he buried with the same clothes that you saw on him? Josie, no. The person that collected the money was the person that arranged everything he wanted to do. Question. So you are aware that he did not go underground with the clothes that you saw? Josie, yes. I'm sure that they would change everything because everything was handed over to him. Question. They wrapped him and threw him in the ground? Josie, they bought caskets. Question. Who bought caskets? Josie, his name is Darusha, his PA. Question. Who is Darusha and what is his relationship? Josie, he was a brother to him and they were living together and he was a business partner. Question. When you say he was a brother to the deceased, is he your son? Question. He is not. Abi, Josie, he is not. Question. So he's a relation? Josie, yes. Question. Does the deceased have other siblings, same mother and father? How many? Josie, there are 2. One is his sister and one is younger to him. Question. Where were these ones throughout this process? Josie, they were there also. The junior one was there and the senior one was not living around them and had to join them the following morning. Question. He was buried in a casket that was purchased by Darusha? Josie, yes. Question. What do you have to say to this news flying around that the casket was too small, so they had to do some adjustments? Is it true? Josie, I saw it on TV. I did not see it physically. Question. So you cannot see? Josie, I was not there when he was put in a casket. Question. Who were the people there? Josie, Darusha was there. Darusha was the one that bought the casket, and I called my daughter to go and join them. And I don't know whether she met them when they were buying the casket or not, but I was not there. Question. And since then, you have not had any death certificate till now telling you the exact cause of death? Josie shakes head side to side. Question. My lord, that will be all. Cross-examination by T.E. Olawale. Sir, how many children do you have? Josie, I have 7 children. Again. Question. Sir, how many children do you have? Josie, I have 7 children. Question. Who gave the instruction that the body should be taken to Ikorodu morgue? Josie, that was where I knew that he had a land. Question. Who gave the instruction? Josie, I was the one that gave the instruction that we should carry the body. Question. What does Darusha do for a living? The one that bought the casket. Josie, he is a musician also. Question. Does he have any connection with Naramali and others? Josie, I can't say anything about that. Question. Did the deceased have any ailment before he died? Maybe asthma, ulcer, or any terminal disease? Josie, he did not have any ailment. Question. Who owns the land that the deceased was buried? Josie, it was owned by my son, and he said he wanted to buy it for me for the church. Question. The deceased, did he have a wife before he died? Josie, yes, he had a wife. Question. Was the wife part of the decision to bury him on that land? Josie, I did not ask from her, but she was there with me. Question. So you solely took a decision to bury him on that land? Josie, yes. Question. Did you have any interest in the estate of the deceased, sir? Mr. A.A. Judge, my lord, I have checked. Mr. T. Olawale, I can refer him to paragraph in the deposition. The court. Let's limit our question to the cause of death. Mr. T. Olawale, sir, can you read paragraph 12 of your deposition, sir? Josie, reading. I have gone there for over 3 times to settle fights. Question by Mr. T. Olawale. Are you married, sir? Josie, yes. Question, is it normal in a relationship or marriage for wife and husband to have intermittent disagreements? Josie, it is normal. But when it has gotten to the point of threats, where the wife will leave the house for 2 days and the husband will not know where she went to. Question, do you live in the same house with the husband and wife? Josie, I do not. Question, so all these things you are saying, you were told? Josie, yes, and sometimes I used to witness it. Josie, I have a question. You said you saw blood in one of the rooms. Josie, not room, in the lobby, outside his room. Question, when you saw his blood, did you ask those who were living with him, maybe his PA DJ, what happened to this blood? Josie, I did not ask anything. Question, why did you not ask? Josie, I did not ask anything. Question, did you suspect anybody in the death of the deceased? Who killed him? Who was responsible? Josie, with what I've said already, firstly, I've seen where Naira Marley had beaten him, and this could have led to it, and at the same time, his wife did not give him peace of mind. And I can say about 3 events that I have witnessed. Question. The question is simple. Did you suspect anyone? Josie, that is the reason why I'm here, so that they can find what killed him. Question. What has Naira Marley done for you? So I've suspected that he was responsible for the death of your son. Josie, he had complained about Naira Marley so much, and Sam Larry also, that anywhere he goes, there are beatings and troubles. Question. Can you cite some instances of these occurrences where they tortured him? Josie, the one I witnessed was that of the October where he said he wanted to go and visit Naira Marley around 8 o'clock at night, and the driver ran back home, that they were beating my son, and there was nothing I could do because there was no car. And by the time I walked there, they had finished the fight, and he met me on the way and said, let's go back home. And he said I should not do anything, and that they would handle it, and I saw marks on his body. Question, did he tell you the cause of this disagreement? Josie, he wanted to change his manager, which was Tunde, and that Tunde is a brother to Naira Marley. Question, when he reported, what was your intervention as a father? Josie, as a father, I said, let me go and report, and he said he has taken a legal procedure, and he called Bella that night. Question, who is Bella? Josie, Bella's mother, a musician also, and with that, I had to step aside, and he told me that he might be seen as not being capable as a man. Question, did he report of any threat to his life, whether from Naira Marley, Sam Larry, or from his wife? Josie, no. Question, there was no threat, that will be all. Cross-examination by Mr. Kola Wale Salami. Question, well done, sir. I commiserate with you on the loss of your son, and we are glad that you are able to meet us here. Sir, you made mention that your son was given a substance to drink at NDLEA. Paragraph 3. Do you have an idea what the substance is? Did your son tell you? Josie, no. But that very day, he said it was a strange water and it was given to him alone. Question, what were the reactions he complained about? Josie, he said after drinking the water, he was scared of going to the airport. Maybe what he had drank could result to something, and for about 6 months, complete 6 months, he could not go out. But he said they had done a washing, but he was scared that the water could reflect anything at the airport. Question, so he went for detoxification? Josie, yes. Question, in paragraph 6 of your statement, you said some marks and injuries were inflicted on him at the encounters at Naira Marley's house. Did you find out the people that put his marks and injury on his body? Josie, the video was out and Naramali was there and his boys. 4 of them went to Naramali's house, 1 ran back, and the remaining 3 removed their clothes and they were beating them and matched them. The video was out there and Naramali was there seeing how they were matching my son. Question. What you are saying is the account that was related to you by your son? Josie, yes, that was what he told me. Question. Also, in paragraph 10, you said, as read, my son told me it was customary for Sam Larry and his boys to always... You saying customary, what means it was more than once? Josie, yes. Question, to your knowledge, how many times? Josie, it will be up to 5, and any show he goes, they will scatter. There was a show he went to, and when he entered, he met Naramali, and when it was time for him to collect the mic, and he got to the stage to sing, Naramali left, and after 5 minutes while singing, the place scattered, and he saw Sam Larry, and he said from there is no place he will play on the island, and they will not scatter. Question. This particular incident is just related. Do you remember the exact date? Josie, I do not know the day of that one. Josie, I be question. But what year? Josie, this year. Question. Was there any relation between the deceased and Naramali prior to Naramali signing him in December 2019 that you are aware of? Josie, I do not know the relationship between them, but I'm suspecting that his wife linked him with Naramali.
Imagine.
You talked about constant fight between the deceased and his wife. Josie, yes. Question, did he ever tell you the cause of the disagreement between him and his wife? Josie, what causes the fight is that sometimes I believe that there is something you call artificial power. When he's in his right sense, again, when he is in his right sense, he will tell me this is what he has. And the moment he leaks the secret out and I react to it, a fight will occur between both of them. Question, you made mention of when you were called and you came to the house. You said you saw a cloth stained with blood. Can you shed more light on this? Josie, since all these days, my mind did not go there. But I'm speaking here now, I remembered. Again, I'm going to take it again. Question, you made mention of when you were called and you came to the house. You said you saw a cloth stained with blood. Can you shed more light on this? Josie, since all these days, my mind did not go there. But as I am speaking here now, I remembered. His body was on the ground and I did not see him. But when I went up to where I usually saw him, that was when I saw the clothes. But when I was told that he was downstairs, that was when I came downstairs and saw his body on the ground. Question. This particular issue of you seeing a cloth stain with blood, did you ever recount this to the police during the investigation?
Exactly.
Josie, no. I recollected it now. Again. Question. This particular issue of you seeing a cloth stained with blood, did you ever recount this to the police during the investigation? Josie, no. I recollected it now. Question. Based on your recollection now, was the content of this blood minimal or much? Josie, it was not much because it was a big clot. Again, based on your recollection now, was the content of this blood minimal or much? Josie, it was not much because it was a big clot. Question. When you saw this cloth, was any other person there with you? Josie, I was the only person there. Question. When you got this call that there was an issue, who called you? Josie, the mother was the one that called me. Question, around what time? Josie, around 5 in the evening. Question, when you got this call, what did the person tell you? Did it say he was still alive? Josie, she said my son was in a hospital and that I should come. Question, she did not tell you whether he was alive or not? Josie, no, but the way she talked, I was apprehensive as a father. Question, where were you when you caught the call? Josie, I was at home. Question, the other call you got? Josie, I was at Osaka London bus stop because they called the mom regularly. And when we got to the bus stop and asked which hospital, I heard Darisha's voice that, Daddy, go home. Question, who was the person that called you, the second call? Josie, it was Darisha. He told me to go back home, that he was okay. Question, and it was the same person that bought the coffin? Josie, yes. Question, what time was this second call? Josie, it was around 7. Question, who talked about Darisha being a cousin to the deceased? You talked about Darisha being a cousin to the deceased? Josie, yes. Question, apart from being a cousin to the deceased, can you describe the relationship between them? Are they close? Josie, yes. They were very close and he was the brother to my son. Question, what about Darisha and Naira Marley? Josie, I cannot say anything about that. Question, during your conversation with your son, did he tell you if there was any form of relationship between Darisha and Naira Marley or any other person in Naira Marley's camp, such as Sam Larry? Josie, no. Question, your son was staying at Naira Marley's apartment before the whole issue came up. Was Darisha also staying there? Josie, no. You talked about 3 incidents that you can recall regarding the wife and the deceased. Can you shed more light on these 3 incidences, one after the other? Josie, there was a time they said we should go to the mountain to pray, and as we were going, Mohbad was sleeping in the car, and his wife had taken his phone and was showing me all the messages of women that he paid 300,000 naira for this lady to come home, and we were going to pray, and we prayed for 3 days, and when we were coming back home, they fought back home. Question, that is one. The second one. Josie, my son called me when he bought a car, and I told him that he was not supposed to buy a car but a land. But he told me that he had a land, 2 acres at Agboa, and a plot at Elepe. And I asked, where were the documents? And he said it was with his mother-in-law. And I said, his mother-in-law, when I was still alive. And I made a step of calling the mother-in-law, and she said it was a lie. And it wasn't like that. And I was asking her for 5 days that my son could not lie. And when she could not, when she would confess, she said it was not Elekwe, but inside Berigbe. And I told her to let me have the document, and she only gave me the plot document. What about the acre? They went to form a panel before I went to my son's place, and the boy was laughing. And I asked why he was laughing. Why can't he open up? And that he had 2 acres at Agboa, and they ended the matter. And the blame was on him that why did he tell me about the land? They were already using the land at Telepe to do something before I detected, and they changed me to the one at Berigbe. Question. Before you proceed, the meeting you admitted to now, what year and month? Josie, it should be around March last year. Question, and the one for the prayer? Josie, that should be this year. Question, do you remember the month? Josie, no. Question, go ahead to the 3rd one. Question, Abi Josie. I entered their house and I asked about his wife, and he said that was why he called me, that she had left the house for about 2 days, and I had to call her, and she said she was angry and that he was always carrying women, and she used to see different text messages. And I asked why couldn't she lock herself in the toilet at home, and she had to go to the hotel, and I said I do not want here again, that she left the house after an argument. And he also said he detected her where she was being slept. This grammar. Okay, let me take it again. I entered their house and I asked about his wife, and he said that was why he had called me, that she had left the house for about 2 days and I had to call her. And she said she was angry and that he was always carrying women and she used to see different text messages. And I asked why couldn't she lock herself in the toilet at home? And she had to go to the hotel. And I said, I do not want to hear again. That she left the house after an argument. And he also said he detected her where she was being slept with. I told him I can't help him send his wife away. Can I continue? Because I've seen a lot and she decides to who works with him. She was sending away his relations, and when she sends them away, Mohbad cannot take them back. Question. You made a mention that the deceased told you that his wife had extramarital affairs. Josie, yes. Question. Did he go into details? Mr. C.E. Olawale, my lord, like I said earlier, like I earlier asked about the estate of the deceased, we are not here for any extramarital affair. We are here for the circumstances that surrounds the death of the deceased and not whether he was even smoking or into drugs. I asked the question that were you interested in the estate of the deceased? So, my lord, I asked that question should be limited to the circumstances surrounding the death of the deceased. Guys, please power tap, please. Power tap, please. Thank you. Mrs. Abiodun Kolawole, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I believe this is a court of justice, and I believe there are various issues surrounding the circumstances of the deceased. We are not prosecuting anybody, and peradventure, who knows, nobody should be restricted. Eliciting facts from them could linger, and when you are restricted, you are not helping the court to arrive at justice. We can ask questions, but be polite in asking. The court. But that is not to say that we should not guide ourselves, because the question being asked is going into her character. There's no need to give details because now you are going into her character. Mr. Kolawole Salami, I was not going into her character. My question was from the response he gave. Vis-a-vis, based on his position in paragraph 12, and the cloth he said he just remembered he saw in the house with stain of blood, which nobody had told the police during the investigation. When you got to the house, did they tell you that what led to the death was injury sustained from an event? Are you aware that he sustained an injury from an event? Josie, yes, they said he went to a show and had a quarrel with one of his friends and hit his hand. Question, who told you? Josie, his wife. Question, did you see this injury? Josie, I saw a small injury on his right hand. Question, can you show the court the part of the hand? Josie, demonstrating somewhere here and little scratch. Question, you just mentioned his friend. What is the name of the friend? Josie, Prime Boy. Question, is it well known to you? What is the relationship between them to your knowledge? Josie, we were living in the same environment, and when Mohbad finished his 2-year course, he had to leave my house to join Prime Boy, and they became tight friends. Question, so he was not his childhood friend? Josie, no. They met when they grew up at Ikorodu around 2010 or 2011, but they were not really close then. But after school, they became close. Question, before this incident that happened, had your son ever complained about his relationship with Prime Boy? Maybe they had a fight. Josie, no. Whenever they had a show, he used to call Prime Boy to come over. Prime Boy was his friend. Cross-examination by Mrs. Abiodun Kolawole. Mr. Aloba, I want to express my deepest condolences to you. Can you please tell this court, as a father to the deceased, can you describe your relationship with your son to the court? Baba, for about 18 years, he was my friend, and whatever I wanted to do, we do it together. Question. We got to know about the death of your son on social media, and he asked, why did you suddenly bury him? Maybe you hated him, and that is why I asked this question, so we can clear the impression. Baba, Mohbad was my friend, and we think and suggest together, and whatever I think, he was ready to follow me to do it. And from the first year, I detected him as someone that is talented because I'm a musician also, and we're close to the extent that if I wanted to do something, he will be the next person to ask if he could do it. If he tells me to do something, the the thing will be successful. We're so close that his elder one went to school before him, and it was because of him his brother went to school. I could remember a day I collected a job of 50,000 naira, 52,000, and I was given a deposit of 30,000, and I got home and hid the money. But he went to tell his elder one that I have money for you to go to school, and I told him we would do the job I collected together. When there's nothing to eat, he would suggest that we sell some stools. He did not fight before and was never reported to me. He was easygoing and we do all things together. And when he wanted to enter school, I wanted to buy a car, but he told me not to, that I should buy tiles and do my house. Mrs. Abiodun Kolawole, during this bullying period with Naramali and Samlari across the shows, has there been any time whereby the family called themselves together and asked if they can pay a visit to Samlari to resolve this issue? Baba, we made a move when the first incident happened. I didn't know everything I was doing was being recorded. Question, and what year is that? Josie, that was February last year. But everything he said on the media that they wanted to kill him, and if he died, they should arrest Namali. And I told him that his boss loved him because of the character Namali showed me. And I went to beg Namali that he should forgive him. My son told me who I was begging is not who he is. So when the second one happened, I saw who he truly was. I made moves for him to have peace with Naramali, and the second one, his phone number was not going, and without contact, you cannot meet him anywhere. And I tried my best. But to my son, he would tell me to protect his name and that the media must not hear. And he told me I was okay, that it was okay that he would take it up by himself. Question. I don't want to go into his marital home because there may be issues, but we cannot gloss it over. During the lifetime of your child, according to the cordial relationship you described, what had he ever discussed with you during his lifetime before his death? Because you saw him 3 days before his death. Did you have discussion? Baba, the last 3 days, we did not have a discussion, but the only thing he told me was that when I get home, I should call him and he will send me money. And that very day before leaving the house, I called his mom and his mom was there, and I told her I was going to eat when I get there. But I was shocked at the answer given to me. But Mohbad had heard that daddy wants to eat something, and he was the one that served me when I reached there. And he gave me mineral, and when he finished, he carried the baby and gave me to me and snapped a lot of pictures. Quick question. During his lifetime, was there any discussion that there was a fight with somebody, with his siblings, mother, friend, or with you? Josie, the only thing he revealed to me is that I have bought land and it is with these people. Question, who are these people? Josie, they are the wife's relations. He told me his money is with them, his mother-in-law and her younger one. I was shocked when I acted on one and they called it circle and it was denying me in front of them. And I asked, was he not the one that told me that he had 2 acres of land? And since then, whatever he reveals to me, when it comes to public, he won't talk about it. He said there was a time when he was in Mali's, his wife will cook indomie and put sleeping pill. And when he's sleeping, there's someone who signed in it. There's someone, they signed in the second room, and she will go and sleep with the person. And I said, how did he know? After all, he was asleep. And he said it was the person's girlfriend that caught them together and came to tell him. And he said, I should be careful about these people. And as a man, I couldn't help him send his wife away. And if he didn't see his wife within a day, he would be calling her. There was a time I took him from home and his mother said he would go with her instead. We hid him so that he will not see his wife for 3 days. But he was the one that messaged his wife, and the wife traced him there. It was my first daughter that said he was the one that messaged his wife by himself. Question. You said Prime Boy and your son were not childhood friends. Josie, no. Question. Within the little time, 3 days, you saw both of them together. What can you say about both of them? Josie, Prime Boy is someone that plays a lot, and being an old friend of Mohbad cannot do anything. They play together. Question: from what we heard about Mohbad's mother leaving when they were very young, and the time she came back, was there any rift between you and her? As she came back, was there any rift with her son, getting close to her son? Josie: when his mother would come back, it was about 2.5 years, about 3 years, when the son already had a name. And my son told me that he wants his mother to come back. And I already have a wife, and it is impossible but for complete 2 years, he would take me to an hotel with his mom and tell us to have nice time. And I told him, because of his good intention, that there's nothing between me and his mom, and he's just putting us together. And when he asked why, I said I could not take another person's wife. I found Mohbad as who I invested in, and because I was not with his mother, I could not benefit. So I told him that I have heard what he said and accepted his mother. Then he bought a car for me. I'll take that again. I found Mohbad as who I invested in. This is in page 67. I found Mohbad as who I invested in. And because I was not with his mother, I could not benefit. So I told him that I have heard what he has said and accepted his mother. Then he bought a car for me.
That's tickle. That is thick and deep.
Question: when did they purchase that car for you? And when they purchased it, was there a time you rejected a vehicle that they must put fuel in it? Josie: when I came back with his mother, they gave me an assurance that they will give me a car. And they gave me the car, and I was so happy. And I called my son, and I told him that I do not have money, that I need money for license and number. And I calculated that I needed close to 1 million, because the car was not raced or salvaged, and because it was a used car. And he said the money should not be up to that, and he was sending 100,000, 50,000 to me for the car, and I have been patching it. Question: that is all for the witness. Court: any other question? Mr. Olumuyiwa Ogunsomi, my lord, there will be no re-examination, and we humbly apply that the witness be discharged. The court: Mr. Aloba, we are grateful for your cooperation, and from our side, we say please accept our condolences. Thank you very much. Any other witness? Mr. T.E. Olawale, yes, Your Honor. We'll be calling Ajishebiri Sultan Ayobami. This is where I'm going to pause for a 15 or 30 minutes break. Panelists, over to you for discussion. And this might even be the last I'm going to take. I'm stopping at page 68. I told you I was going to take Baba's testimony today. Perhaps tomorrow we'll continue with that of Ajishebiri Sultan Ayobami. Panelists, over to you. I believe you have a lot of points jotted down. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done, Dawa class. You're really doing well.
Am I still on the screen? Can you guys hear me? Hello. Loud and clear. Loud and clear, beautiful. Thank you, Dawa. In fact, that was a very beautiful show. And thank you for taking your time and taking it very, very slow with us while you read everything that you read. I have a lot of points. I have too many points. Actually, I have too much, but let's just start. So I was taking the points in the order that Dawa was saying these things, and I'll just be very quick. I'll probably take 2 minutes. I'll probably take 2 minutes for each point. So the first thing that I picked there was Baba Mohbad. During the interview, the first thing they asked him was, what does he do for a living, or what is his occupation? And the first answer he gave was that he's a retired carpenter. And my question is, at what point did he retire from his carpentry job? At what point did he now leave the carpentry profession? And then if he says that he's a retired carpenter, what was he doing, or what has he been doing since the time he retired? So I think we'll need some answers from his followers, because I know that his people are, on the FYP watching. So hopefully they'll be able to answer some of our questions. They also asked about Mohbad. I'm going to be very quick because I'm very mindful that there are other people who wants to also who have taken points down. So the second one was, they asked Baba, during the time that Mohbad lived with you, all of his years that he lived with you, can you provide us with his medical record? Baba said Mohbad does not have any medical record. He said, yes, he was sick one time, he had rashes, and then he had appendix, but the appendix was cured. My question is, how was appendix cured? He didn't go through surgery.
No surgery.
He didn't. How did they cure the appendix?
Hospital.
So I don't know. Again, Baba Mohbad supporters can
No
maybe
history
come forward
of
and answer
hospital.
all these questions. Now, while it is very easy for these people supporting Baba Mohbad to come online and tag Wunmi negligent, and tag Iya Mohbad, the terrible mother, and all of that, I just want to remind us that from what we heard, Baba Mohbad had no contact with his son in 2019. He didn't even know where his son was staying. He had no idea where his son was staying in 2019. For almost a year, he had no knowledge of, his son's whereabouts. Because for him, at the end of the day, like we've said here so many times, Mohbad was parentified. He had to step in to be the parent. So anyway, whatever he can do to bring food to the table, they did not care. All they want is like, Toba sono, Nico sono. As long as Toba Makpadawa bring food to the table, no one cared. Now, during the incident of the NDLA, I'm taking it in the order that the question was asked. Now, during the incident of the NDLA, Baba was asked what hospital his son went to. He said he didn't know. Yes, he saw his son and he saw the bruises. However, a father that cares so much about your fast rising son, your son who is a star, Ogo Idileyin, he had no idea what hospital the boy went to. Neither did he support his son to the hospital, to the police station to put in a police report. Who was there with him? Wunmi? Same Wunmi that put herself in front of crossfire. If you have to take him, you have to kill me. If you have to kill him, why are you taking him? That same Wunmi is the one that is being tagged negligence. You went, you saw your son all bruised up. But you did not think you were going, you did not even think to go with him. He told you that he was given a substance to drink. He claimed. You didn't think you needed to go with him to the hospital. He did not go to the hospital with his son. He did not support his son to the hospital to file a report. He did not call Naira Marley on the phone to Beshepe. So, and Wunmi is the one who is negligent. And Wunmi is the one who didn't care about Mohbad. And Wunmi is the only one who has a duty of care to this boy. Wunmi is the only one who has a duty of care to this boy. His family does not. They do not have a duty of care. They don't owe Mohbad anything. But rather, Mohbad owes them so much to go out and hustle and come and feed them. Now, Baba also said that Mohbad had a home in 2022. And that in October 2022, when he visited, when he wanted to visit the Naira Marleys, he discouraged Mohbad. And then he was assaulted. And this was how Mohbad got to the hospital. He was taken to the hospital by his friends and all of that. But his father did not show up. His father did not even do a follow-up. He didn't do a follow-up to check what did they say, what are we doing? No updates, no follow-up, no support, nothing. But it's easy for them to blame Wunmi. Now let's go to the incident that happened on the day Mohbad died. And I don't know why Mohbad supporters are saying, there are discrepancies. What are you people talking about? At first, he said he got a call from Iya Mohbad between 4:30 to 5. Then he said Darosha called him and said Mohbad was not feeling well. No, he's fine now. And then he got to the hospital. There are too many discrepancies in that. I don't even understand. At what point did they call Baba Mohbad? At what point did anybody at all call him to tell him that something had happened to his son? At what point? Now, he said when he got to the house, he saw his nose blocked with cotton wool. And they asked him, when you got there, who did they say confirmed? I want to shock you guys. There's a shocker coming in that conversation. Now, they said, who pronounced him dead? Who certified him dead? He said, he has no idea. He doesn't know. And then he said, yeah, when they called the ambulance and the ambulance came, he said the ambulance man is also a doctor. And that doctor tested him. Now, Baba Mohbad also said there was somebody in the bus. And that person also checked him, and it was that person that also confirmed that he was dead. They asked him, who is that person? He said he cannot say. Could it be Iyalolade? Because don't forget that when Baba Mohbad met Iya Mohbad near Ojo Omi, whatever they call that place, Iyalolade was with him. So could it be Iyalolade that was, could it have been that Iyalolade is the other person in the bus that checked him and certified him dead? Now, Baba said when they left the house, he said they took him to the police station and they were there for 3 hours. When they asked Baba Mohbad, what is the name of the police station? He said he has no idea. Now, hear this. Nkotating Botele was that Baba Mohbad was writing the statement, somebody was helping him, but before he finished up, one of the Ogas now came, the Ogas now said no, that they have to go back to the place where, but in this particular statement, Baba Mohbad said, he wrote the statement, he signed, and then he asked for the document, and then they said they cannot give it to him, he has to go to the police station close to where Mohbad actually died. Which police station is that? Baba said, Onwomo. Now, they also asked him about the death certificate, and he said he did not have any death. At the time, there was no death certificate. Again, let me remind you, because I wrote this twice, because I really want to emphasize on that someone was in the bus, and that person confirmed Mohbad dead to Josie. Who is the person? I cannot tell you. I cannot say. We might need to go and find that paragraph again. I cannot say. He said that. I can't say. Because I don't know the person. No, I just saw the person. No, he said, I can't say. But me only saw any toje. Now, when they took him from the police station, they decided to take him to the mortuary. On arriving at the mortuary refused the body because there was no doctor's report. So Baba Mohbad stayed with the dead body until 4 a.m. Now, staying with the dead body from the time that the first ambulance was hired to the time that a second ambulance was hired, they stayed with the body at the morgue, subjecting that boy to ridicule. Why? Because he was so much in a rush to just put him on the ground and bury him. They just needed him to just be sent off so that they can focus on what they're focusing on right now. He couldn't be bothered with, we have to get the police result. Listen. He had his plan from the beginning. Now, don't also forget that Baba Mohbad, in that same statement, he said that it's the nurse that has been treating him that came to the house to administer him that injection. So now, to treat him when he was sick. So this all suggests that Baba Mohbad did not actually care that his son had died in that moment. Because if you care, before you will get there and say, carry the body, let's call ambulance, you will first shut the doors, sit everybody down, and ask them questions. Kilo shomoyi. Nurse to fun labereda. Ngo nurse kilo fun. Mumi boni wowa. Darosha kilo wa ṣẹlẹ̀. Ta ló tún wá wà ńbẹ̀? Ta ló pe gbogbo àwọn èrò yìí tó wà ńbí? Okay, what ta ni ìwọ? Kí ni ti ìwọ? Okay, ẹ mọ̀ nǹkan tá máa ṣe nísìn. At this point, ọlọ́pàá la máa pè because òkú ló wà ńlẹ̀ ìyá lè máa gbókù kiri. He had made the decision. You know what? He's dead, he's dead. Now I would rather focus on the things on ground rather than focus on any to ti lo nìyẹn ẹ palẹ̀ mọ́ ẹ kẹ́ máa gbé lọ tẹ́ gbé tẹ̀lé mi. Now, he said when he got to the house, he saw the body in the parlor. Emma Gbagbe, that for almost 9 months,
On the stairs.
what they were telling us, more than 10 months rather, they said his body was put under the staircase.
Under the staircase.
So, anything, but when you hear under the staircase, what does it suggest to you? Because we know that most houses in Nigeria, they're not modern houses. They're duplex, the staircase can be like inside the living room as well and all of that. For me, when I first heard under the staircase, I thought, oh, Emma Shilekun, Emma Gun staircase, Losisale, Ewari Abe staircase. For me, that was my understanding of it. Like outside of the house, go through the staircase downstairs, under the staircase was where they put the body. That was what I thought. And I'm sure that is what a lot of people think. That his body was kept under the staircase, outside of the house. But Baba Mohbad here said he saw the body in the parlor, in the sitting room, in the living room. And they asked him, was the blood much? Only no, the blood was not much. He said they used the cloth to clean the blood. Shamakwe, they used the cloth to clean the blood and a blanket drenched, soaked in blood. You know there are two different things, right? Shamakwe, there are two different things. When you say that you have a blanket that is soaked by blood, soak, drench, that's blanket here. It's completely different from, there's a stain on the floor, you take a blanket and you wipe the stain. And he said in this statement that they used the blankets to clean blood. The blanket was no longer soaked in blood. At this time, it was not a concern for me. Now I ask those of you who have been bashing Wunmi, if truly this blanket was soaked, drenched in blood, and it was left at the hallway leading to Mohbad's bedroom or his lounge or his chilling area or wherever that is, how are you still supporting a man that did not question that day and then any loss no fulabere lo she blanket tí mo rí lókè tó kún pẹ̀lẹ́ jẹ́ ńkọ́ ibo ló ti ṣe ibo ni mark ibo kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ tí ẹ̀jẹ̀ yẹn ṣe pọ̀ tó yẹn. There was no question at that time about the blankets soaked in blood. Now, something else about Mohbad said when he was being asked questions like, okay, you and the Iya Mohbad, because to the best of my knowledge, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I feel like information is lost so much, right? Because Baba Mohbad said that him and Mama Mohbad, they are living in the same area. I think this question was asked in relation to, okay, at what point did you connect with Iya Mohbad? At what point did this, did that? We're living in the same area where this. So he said they were living in the same area. So correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Iya Mohbad and Benny.
No, Mohbad ti gbalé fún yo gbalé mi sí fún years Ikorodu. Okay. Ó wá ti bàbá ẹ̀ lè jọ máa meet there.
Okay, beautiful.
It was after this passing that they got she moved back to Songo.
Okay. Okay, beautiful. Because I wanted to know that because I just put that down. Songo to Ikorodu.
In addition to what he said he was the only one that saw the blood stain alone.
Yes, I wrote that. Yeah. They asked him, did anyone else see the blood stain? He said no. The blankets, stained with blood. He said no, that he was the only one that saw it. Now they asked him, did you consult with your wife, with the mother of the boy or the boy's wife before going about the burial arrangement? He said no. He made that decision by himself. Ó make decision in front of say, focus on what we stand to gain. Let's focus on, more important stuff. It's gone. Let's focus on what's on ground. And they asked him, who bought the coffin? Who bought the clothes? Did they give him a wash? He said Darosha organized everything. So Darosha, this is an open message to you. Think about Dake, Tare, Abadake morning. One of the reasons Wunmi Shekba liberation to ba Nising is because she stood up she came out and she spoke. She came out and she said the little that she could say, and she felt light.
Darusha need to come
Don't
out and
keep
explain
quiet. Come out and do
himself.
the needful. Nobody has to tell you what to do. Just know what you know and share what you feel comfortable to share. Now, they asked Baba Mohbad, did Mohbad marry this person? Like, who is Wunmi to Mohbad? He said she is his wife. The same Baba that has come on social media to tell the world
that he didn't marry
that
him.
the son did not marry
He
Wunmi.
marry
That
Wunmi.
introduction lost her the engagement.
Oh,
He told the
God.
coroner court that she is his wife. Now, let me take you back to the NDLA topic again. Now, when the NDLA, so after the whole NDLA situation and all of that, Baba Mohbad said that Mohbad could not go out for 6 months after drinking that substance that was given to him. So it was more like it was isolating
6 good
himself from
months.
the world just to go through detox. 6 months. Josh, that's 6
I
months.
wonder
Baba
what
Efe
that girl
isolates
would
Lane.
go through.
Is that not enough reason for every father to step up and
Wonder
come
what
out
she
and scream
went
and
through.
fight? This energy that Baba is using now, is it not enough? The fact that
use
your son was
them.
given a substance, your son said that he's feeling some way or this or that or whatever it is, and he wants to stay home, and he stayed home for 6 months. Is that not enough reason for you to get up and actually fight for your son? No, he also said that women low artificial power to think control Mohbad. His mother, he said again he has something with them, and then when I went there, my son denied me. My son my son, he has artificial power. She has artificial power to think control money. But you claim to be a pastor. You claim to be a man of God.
Artificial power.
Àwọn àdúrà wo lẹ bọ́ sínú ilé ẹlẹ́jì fún ọmọ yín láti break him from whatever it is you think, whatever spell you think, or whatever it is that you're thinking in your head. All of this at the end of the day is just to nail this innocent girl for nothing. Now, he said something that blew my head. In fact, when I read that, I almost unmuted to just say something. I'm thankful now that I didn't. He said, rather than Wunmi leaving home and going to spend a few days outside of home, why didn't she lock herself up in the toilet? Toilets. So you expect her to lock herself up in the
Hello,
toilet
everybody. Go, please.
It's a bad thing that
Please help my condition.
Now, it's a bad thing that she summoned the courage.
If you're not yet to subscribe to my channel, could you please do so?
Safety plan.
Help condition me, me follow account me.
Okay, whenever this guy offends me, rather than me and him screaming our lungs out and fighting and doing all of that, I will take a step out. Step grow. Majority of the time, since incident Bashele. But women also do. I step out of my home sometimes when I'm really upset about something I don't want to talk about in that moment. I grab my keys and I go for a drive. I have a sister in this city. There are times where I just pick up my stuff, take my kids, and we go stay the night at my sister's, or I'll go somewhere. I do take break from home. It's a mental health break.
Instead of reacting to each other every time, it's better to have a break.
They had other people there as well.
To give space.
So for her, I don't want to be here and I don't want to watch these people watch us fight and watch us have this, heated altercation. I'm just going to take a break and step out of the house for a few days, and I'll come back when I feel calm. When I'm calm enough to come back, I will come back.
I don't think there's anything wrong in that.
And she's been blamed for doing that. Now, let me end my own, points here, so someone else has the opportunity to, can also take the floor. Low hits me you. And as a parent and as a child myself, it took me to a place of reflection that when we pour into our kids, when we fill our kids' cups, when we pour into our kids, when we nurture our kids, when we raise our kids, don't forget that these children, we are just the drivers. Don't forget that it's a privilege that God gave you the honor to parent a child, because there are people out there who just want to have a child of their own and but they just cannot for some reason or the other. To hear a father say his child is his investment, it's a different thing if your child is a retirement plan.
Yeah, that
Where I
works.
have labored all my life for my child. There's a certain age I get to. When it's shaking
The man
but
is
you see,
saying
he's telling
it
the world
boldly.
that his child is his investment.
It's his
Investment.
investment.
Meaning.
Ah.
But the only way Timothy reap from my investment is to give him what he wants. Is to agree to marry his mother. And because I agreed to marry his mother, that was the only
I will
reason
get
he
all
bought
what
me
I
a
want.
car.
That didn't sound well.
Hey, Yomi.
It didn't sound well at all.
Will Iyalola be happy?
That didn't sound well.
Will she be happy? Hey. Yes, he said that. He said that. He said, I invested in him.
Yeah.
He said that. He said he invested in his son.
I even jot it down.
He knows that the only condition that would make his son buy him a car was for him to agree to marry his son's mother, Aloba Mohbad. So he agreed to his offer or to his request.
Sorry, he actually literally said that the son is his investment.
Yeah.
We can never rule that investment out. Those were his exact words. I see him as my investment. God bless you, Kira. And the only way I could get the things that he promised me was for me to agree to his offer or to his request for me to marry his mother. And as soon as I agreed, he bought me a car. Before they then started asking him, did you force him to buy money for fuel and none of that? No, but he bought you the car. Now I ask you, Iyalolade, who has been standing on the fence, will Iyalolade be happy? So ti jẹun yóò ń sìn àbí? O ti di celebrity ń sìn? Owó ti jẹ sí ẹ lọ́wọ́? So now you think you're going to just bring your mother into the picture and your mother will now become the wife. So I can benefit from him. Yes, he said that. So you bring your mother into the picture and your mother will now become the wife and your father will now marry your mother and they will now be, Wọ́n lè fi ṣe ọmọ, wọ́n lè fọmọ yìí ṣe kàkà kíkú má jẹ sèse ni, á fi ṣàwàdànù ni. So, Emil, personally, this last statement that Dawa read just crowned it all for me.
Yeah.
That his son was his investment. And that's why he didn't really care what was happening in his life. He didn't really care if he was getting bashed or if he was getting his jobs getting sabotaged or if promoters were being called and if his career was, as long as you spend money and you bring food on the table. And Mohbad had a very poor reflection of himself. And that's why you will never see him, even in interviews. Mohbad could not make eye contact with anybody.
Please subscribe to my account, please.
From when he was young. They made him
Please
feel like
help my condition by subscribing to my account.
Either you give me this money or all hell will let loose. Yeah, Mohbad, I had to beg myself, every one of them, liar, and it's unfortunate that Mohbad is not here to tell his story or share the things that he went through in the hands of his father. But his child was his investment. Mohbad was an investment for Baba Mohbad. It was a paycheck out of poverty. So I hope you all know why they are after Liam so bad. So I'll leave this, I'll just end my, analysis here for someone else to take over.
Oh, God.
I'm thinking that I might be ready to come back, is he?
I don't want the recordings to be too clumsy, so I'll take the remaining of Ajishabiri another day. Let's just go straight to analysis.
It's late.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to bore people much reading. Yeah. Pythagoras, I got
Mr. Pythagoras. Mr. Pythagoras, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I was waiting for your 2 minutes to be over.
On each point.
Sorry?
She actually said 2 minutes for each point.
Oh, for each point?
Yes, that was what she said.
So, from the total number of minutes she spent now, so, Ajankwe, she had like 20 points. But that's fine. She's one of the 2 people I don't want to speak after they speak on this platform because they actually cover the whole point and you are left with really nothing to say. But that's fine. But from the few things I can only add to it is for people who are in doubt about the police commitment to this case and their diligence on it. From the drilling of the ASP, I've forgotten his name, we can see that even though they are reluctant, even though they don't want this kind of publicity for themselves because of the antecedents, yes, people might not want to trust them that much, but we can see that on this case, at least on this case of what led to his eventual death, we can see that so far so good, they are up and doing on it. Yes, it might not be what we want. They might not be covering all the areas we want them to cover, but I believe with time, we'll get there. We can see that with all the examination and cross-examination, we can establish that it's an ongoing investigation. And they are not going to stop until they get to where they should get to. So it's not like they have concluded on the number of suspects, their number of witnesses. The only thing holding them back now from that drilling there is the result of the toxicology and the interpretation of it. That is when they can now dig further, dig more into all these suspects, into all the witnesses, and even people of interest on this case. So I want to try and, I know some of us, even here, we feel like, oh, they are trying to avoid some questions. They are trying to take some people out of the picture in relating to them being suspects here or something. But still, yes, it is their own job to conceal some of this matter. It is the job of the lawyers and all that to bust it open for them. And I believe the lawyers, they did good with the drilling. And from what we can see, it's an open case. And the police, at least for now, they are doing what they should be doing. So coming down to Baba Mohbad, there are things that we can now quote clearly. Yes, even before now, we've been saying it that, oh, maybe this, maybe that. But now we can say it with 100% certainty that he buried this boy horridly. A question was posed to him earlier on that did he see any death certificate? He said no. The lawyer being who they are, he tried to put some other questions before trying to nail the coffin he's putting him in. Then he now asked him, sorry. So the lawyer, before nailing the coffin on him, he asked some other questions to distract him. Then he now put it back to him like, who buried this boy? He was trying to dodge it. That he pointed the place where they should bury him. Who gave the instruction? He said he gave the instruction. Who and who was involved in the preparation of this burial? Did you ask the wife? Did you ask the mother? Did you ask anybody? He said he took this decision by himself. If there will be any other case relating to the burying of this boy, there is no way Joseph Aloba can escape going to prison from his own testimony already. Because he was the one arranging things. Even the case of embalmment, he was saying, a question was posed to him. That was this body prepared for embalmment or anything? He said no.
Yeah, he said no.
You said you saw
He
blood.
cleared that one, that place.
A cloth drenched with blood. You saw
Yeah.
that upstairs.
That's
And
already
they asked
clearly.
you, on the body, did you see any blood stain or anything? You said no. The silent question there is that even if you saw a cloth filled with blood, that could have been anybody's cloth or anybody's blood. You were unable to link that cloth to the body because on the body you could not see any stain of blood. That was what the lawyer was trying to put there, but it was just a silent question. That means that whatever you saw there was irrelevant. And again, another question came that, who was there with you? You were the only one, so you could be lying. So you can see that with this little, I don't know how many hours they spent asking him these questions, you can see that he was falling apart already. If there was to be further questions and answers for Joseph Aloba, especially after all this he has done online on what they will say, what do they call it again, social network. With all he has done on the social network now, you will see that he will not be able to even last 30 minutes under any cross-examination. You usurped Wumi by denying her of her responsibility of her duty to our late husband. You took over a body that was not even yours to take over. You went out to bury this body. You confirmed it yourself. So, because when you got there, you got an explanation. A question was posed to you that they didn't tell you anything. What happened to him? Did you ask any question? And he said, yes, you asked. What did they tell you? That he developed complications from the injection he took. And you were okay with that explanation. And to you, life goes on. The next thing is, let's go and bury him. Because you were okay. The deed has been done. Let everybody move on with their life. So, what is now the cry all about? You've accepted your fate. What is the cry all about now? You said that you were going to even if you went to the police station at all, you were going there just to get a report that will allow you either put him in mortuary or put him in the ground. That is what you were after. Even if you did or take the body anywhere. But eventually we discovered that you didn't even go to any police station at all. So you were okay with it. And to round it up, you made the statement that this boy was an investment to you. And you will do anything to make sure you get the maximum returns on your investment. Because that is the interpretation of that. You will stop at nothing to ensure you get the maximum return on investment. It's just simple business to you. It's the rate of return. It's the ROI you get on that investment. That is all you were concerned about. Which is fine for any businessman. If you are just call yourself a businessman, we'll be okay with that. And not call yourself a father. but it is good. But people should now see clearly the people we are dealing with, the kind of father we are dealing with, the father of the year we are dealing with, the father of the year who didn't know where his boy was living for a whole year, because they were asking him, you didn't go there, you didn't find out, you didn't call him. He was saying no. Maybe the question they should have asked the question that, was he getting any form of money from him all those months? Because he was definitely getting money from him. He doesn't care about the health of the boy or who the boy is, who are bullying the boy. As long as the money keeps coming in, that's all he's concerned about. And that was why he was very quick to rush upstairs to see what else he can take from this boy. Of course, you know the old mentality like, Mako will let's in no bedroom where. I'm sure he went up there to ransack the place. Nígbà tó rí pé wòrí ló padà wá sísàlẹ̀ wá bá lọ́ọ̀yà ń pẹ́ àfà. Mo gbọ́n pọ̀ mọ́ ẹ̀ láwọn ilẹ̀ síbí kan bó láwọn òwe yẹn wà.
Oh God.
Just look at that. I'm sure because of us reading this CTC, a lot of revelations are still going to come out, and we'll be here trying to analyze them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawa class.
Ẹ má bínú o, mo ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ débí ni ẹ má bínú. I've been so busy. Mo mọ̀ pé àwọn kankan understand. Yeah, I've been so busy. But mo ń gbọ́ gbogbo nǹkan everybody ń sọ, but I'm not with the phone at all. Mo kàn wà far away. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tabefe. Baby Boo, Mr. Dawa, Freedom. Thank you, Chubby Me, everybody. Mokinyo, Echeo.
Thank you, Dawa class, for the beautiful bread. As always, it was eloquent. Abefemi, that was a detailed analysis. Pythagoras, our agbẹjọ́rò Tomoye, without wig and uniform. Well, you guys have summed major, everything that needs to be said have been said. I'm just going to buttress on my own part on the things that have been discussed. And I observed the parts where the lawyer were trying to establish the title that they've given Mr. Aloba as the father of the year. In fact, another one typed in their usual English and said it is best father of our year. I saw that comment. But from the cross-examination from the lawyer about did he consistently lived with you for 18 years? They were trying to establish what type of father he was. And even though he had said, oh yes, he lived with him consistently for 18 years, we know from evidence out there, even from how we can follow the life journey history of Mo from his music and all of that. And it's obvious that he didn't live with the father consistently for 18 years. Another thing that I have also been able to confirm is the fact that we are dealing with a vindictive man. For whatsoever reason, he has made up his mind to go all out for Omowomi. And that's why even in the interrogation or the cross-examination, he said, they asked him about his son's musical career. And he couldn't even, he was clueless. In fact, if I'm to give that man a title, I will give him the clueless father of the year. He had no clue about his son's life, everything around him. He was clueless. And that's why when they asked about his musical career, the journey and all. And they asked about NM, how Mohbad came in contact with NM. And the only thing he could said was, oh, he is most likely through Obowumi. Like even me that didn't live with Mohbad, we have read the interview, we have heard, we have seen. So for a father to come out and say, oh, through the wife, oh, come on. Why is he so desperate about putting everything on the wife? Then he went further to talk about the wife putting stuff in the food and the son will sleep off. And he claimed that the son told him, but where is the evidence that the son ever told him such things? Don't forget again that Asats, when they were at the Malian's house, they were not even married at that point in time. So, where is the, I can't send his wife away for him. They weren't married. And I love the fact that Abefe touched on the supernatural aspect of it. You know, I think I've even made a comment or post on that on Facebook before when someone was saying, oh, they just more. And I'm like, okay, so if you are talking about jazz and a prophet, which should win? So it's evidence that it's just a case of calling a dog a bad name so you can hang it. That was all that played out there. Then we go to the blurred parts. Initially, he said it was a stain, it was a cloth, then it turned out to be at the lobby, not even in the room. How did it suddenly got on TikTok and it became a pool of blood? It became a Kampala blockade. It became all manner of things just to suit agenda of these people. I mean, to just keep us perpetually here. Then also the embalments. You know, he went from, there was cotton wool. He didn't even, I'm not sure I heard the salt part. I only heard cotton wool and that he was dressed up. And again, the man asked, the lawyer asked, was he buried that way? He said no, that they changed him. So the lawyer said, so it means he was not embalmed or prepared for burial. You know, there were contradictions in that part. And someone in the comment section actually typed something that made a lot of sense. Like, even if you claim that he was embalmed, so why were you hurrying to bury him? Is it that the salt was not embalming after all? Because if it was embalmed like you truly claim, why the sudden hurry to want to bury him that evening that was later postponed till the following day? So Mr. Aloba has still not come to answer us on the real reason. It can't just be because of no police report or whatever, because I have said that severally before. Let's even assume the previous day you couldn't get the report, you couldn't deposit him. So what happened the following day? You even gave them time by 12/1, bring him over for interment. Why not trying to deposit him somewhere? Why not trying to find out what actually happened? But of course, he was satisfied. And that's why when all of these people come out to say, oh, the father is not asking too much, he's only asking what by his son. And I'm like, are you saying that he buried this boy without knowing what pied him? So it's either he was given a reason, he was satisfied with it, and he just couldn't wait to do away with the body so that he can get to the part of the property. I mean, even before the guy was interred, he had started asking, where does he have a land? Is the house actually his? Did he bought the house and all of that? So I see a man who just wants to be done with the whole burial process. And maybe that's the reason why he said, "Ijotabari bini bi wole." You know, just let me just dispose of the body so that we can move to the things that matters to him. And when you talk about investments, maybe I do not understand what investment means. Because in all of Mr. Aloba's narrative, I didn't see or hear any parts where he said, oh, this was what he had invested in his son. It has been the son all along, you know, shouldering the responsibility of the family. So there was no emotional investment on his part, neither was there financial investment. I mean, or maybe he used to encourage him on certain ways. But when you talk about emotional investment, bonding with your son, with your child, to feel his pain, to be there with and for him, you know, as fathers are usually the ones that the male child would even look up to. He wasn't there in that capacity. He was a father who was a decorative father. Yeah, like that's my daddy, that's my father. So he was there as a father, but just a decorative father, not an invested father. So that he claimed to have invested. To me, it's a no-no. There was no investment. And that explains why it was easy for him to move on quickly. Even when we can hear from the mother's interviews where she said, oh, she still believed her son wasn't dead. She believed maybe a miracle would have happened. Because as a mother, there is some form of bond. As friend, Zlatan or whoever said, oh, don't bury my friend yet. They had that bond. And as a wife, of course, Omowumi has been the one who has, you know, been the ride or die with this guy. And they could not understand the reason why you just want to dispose of his body, which was the major outcry the world and everyone had that time. So as it seems now, we're still going back to that aspect of why was he hurriedly disposed of. Then to further make that interesting, it is a crime to have done so. So we're going back. So all of the shifting of focus, shifting of attention, shifting of blame that he tried to do, we're still going back to why Mohbad was hurriedly disposed of. And I believe that as time goes on, we would be able to unravel this, and whoever needs to pay would pay for that, and whatever led to his buy at the end of the day. Thank you, everyone. Unfortunately, I would have loved to talk, but I don't. My break is still in another 2 hours, so. But I listened to everybody. Mr. Aloba, you tried. You really, really tried. It's so unfortunate that I can't talk right now. It's my busy time. And I'll come back later.
Oh.
Mr.
Mr. Pẹ̀kágúrà ṣe má sọ̀rọ̀ o. Ẹ má sọ̀rọ̀ mo ń gbọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tẹ̀ ń sọ látẹ̀kọ́ mi
ẹ má dá
sọ̀rọ̀
wọn
ní
lóhùn yẹn la máa
ẹ
rí
má
wọn sí
sọ̀rọ̀ o.
ẹ fi wọn
Nígbà
lẹ̀.
tí ìyàwó yìí máa kíyàn mo ti wà lórí bíbá látàárọ̀ wọn kí mi ẹ dé wọn kí sweeter tiwọn.
mo ti gbọ́ yín.
Èmi dákẹ́ mi ò sọ̀rọ̀.
nǹkan yẹn ọkàn lèmi kàn tiẹ̀ fẹ́ sọ. àná ó dà pé ó pé méjì nínú àwọn nǹkan tí mo gbọ́ is about Josie saying Wùmí ló gbé Mohbad lọ sọ́dọ̀ Naira Marley. ìyẹn one. The second one is him saying small cuts lòún rí. And later on, when they were talking about stabbing, he was even ready and he told them that they should go to the morgue to go and check the body of Mohbad. So that is where I'm confused. Like, you already said it in the court that it was a small cut and a small scratch. So where did this stab of a thing now comes in again? These are just see that land, whatever he's talking about. And I was happy with some of his statements saying, yeah, they went for engagement. And suddenly now engagement has turned to, it's just an introduction. They turned it to engagement. It was in the introduction, and Mary said Aloba told her that Wunmi was the one that gave him the money to pay for dowry. Like, and another thing, Joseph Aloba is saying, èèyàn kan kò tẹ̀ láwọn lọ, according to Aries yesterday, èèyàn kan kò tẹ̀ láwọn lọ, in fact, gbà táwọn débẹ̀ lọ fáwọn fìlà, blah, blah, blah. Aloba should come outside and tell us that people did not come from Ekiti to that in our engagement. Àwọn family Aloba, tó bá wá láti Ekiti, kí Josie bọ́ síta kó wá sọ. Toro sọ pé òun nìkan lòun lọ, àwọn family òun ò tẹ̀ lóhun.
Please, Dad, stop hitting me. It's enough.
I don't understand. If there's even anything that Josie wants, it shouldn't get to this stage of trying to blackmail that girl.
Thank you very much for watching me today. I think I have to stop here now. We continue tomorrow. Gbogbo èyí tẹ́ ti gbọ́, ẹ lọ máa digest ẹ̀.
All this former interview that he has been doing, he was saying something else. Now
Another chapter continues tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching me. Good night. Love you all. Bye-bye.